Hello and welcome back to another rendition of the Sunday Night Takeaway Show. My name is Tony and I have de-aged about 30 years. As you can see, the hair has come back magically. I've lost the glasses and I've lost a bit of the fuzzy on the chin and under the nose. But aside from that,
fake force.
late for wow, this one's actually wow. True that. Young dogs. This is young dogs, but unfortunately, no Tony tonight. He's ran away. He's taken a holiday. In pace, he's done a Richard Herbert. Whenever his team loses, he disappears.
Yeah, he does. I had the message from him, Fuzzy. He said, "Right, we're 3-0 down. I'm going away for the weekend. Fuck it, you could do the show." He's like, "What?" That was it. That was all I got.
It was quite abrupt, but nonetheless, we are here, and the show shall go on. I'm joined at the moment with Jose from Alto Cockerel. How are we doing, buddy?
Yeah, all good, mate. All good. Glad to be back on the show with you, lovely people, and glad to see what's on the show today and what we get in the chat.
Lovely stuff. Good stuff. Anthony, how are we doing?
I'm not too bad. Could be worse from the game that I just seen. But listen, I mean, we're going to talk about that later on in the show. We move on. We move on, and all is good.
Lovely stuff. And last but not least, Yeti, how are you, buddy?
Mate, I am on cloud 9 because we are still unbeaten in this league. And, it's just amazing. It's just absolutely amazing. We go down to 10 men. 10 men's not a stigma anymore. I don't think it's as much of a stigma as what it used to be, where everybody thinks that you're going to just batter the team that gets down to 10 men. We've proved that's not the case, and Arsenal's proved that that's not the case as well. Unfortunately, they let it go at the end of the game, but Raya, for me, man of the match, 100%.
Try going down to 9 players. We do that.
Oh, yeah, nine's the stigma now. Nine's a stigma.
Or in Tottenham's case against Liverpool, when Liverpool go down to 9 players. Yeah. But lovely stuff. So possibility that more people might join in as the show goes on. But that's when they do decide to join, then you'll see people come and go. Lovely stuff. So basically, slightly maybe different from how Tony usually does it. Probably predominantly going to be centric.
Well, you've got it here, so it's always going to be different.
Yeah, true that. It's gone from here to here, so that's always so 180 we could say. But yeah, man. Basically to be centric around this weekend's results and some of the talking points, big controversial bits and pieces, such as the red cards that especially have happened today. It's going to be interesting to dive into things and get everybody's viewpoints and perspectives on things as well. Say hello to a few of the peeps in the chat as well. Big ups to Henry Ray Baker. Good to see you. Hope all is well with you. Matt Foster as well. Michael of Chelsea. Good to see you as well. Has anybody had lightning this weekend? I think most of us have. No?
Has anybody had what?
Lightning. I know we've had a few
storms. Oh, yeah. My cat was going fucking mental the other day when the storm started. See, the only time I actually get to see my cat is when a storm's starting. Otherwise, he don't give a fuck about me at all, apart from when he wants feeding, of course. But that's pretty much it.
We had it Friday. Here, and as soon as I heard it and seen it, I was at the top of a scaffold, and I thought, "Sod this! I'm getting down." So, I mean, when it's thunder and lightning, being on top of a scaffold is not exactly the best place to be, is it? So
no, not really. Not really.
So,
you do tend to become a bit of a lightning rod, being surrounding yourself with conductors with thunderstorms and all. Jez, how are we doing, bro?
Gutted.
Yeah.
Gutted. Heartbroken. It's like 10 seconds to go. And fair play to the team. Fair play to them, man. What they defended so well. I mean, the intensity. I didn't like the tactic going 5 at the back. I didn't like that. I thought, we're going to be in trouble, but respect. I have to give them utmost respect for that. But the one thing I won't take, right, is when somebody comes on my channel and tries to tell me how to run my channel. Right. And a guy come in there today, right, elderly guy, probably the same age as me, watching with his grandkids. Please stop swearing. Basically, mate, this channel is not made for kids. Right? When I set the channel up, it says not made for kids. The fact you're watching it, then mute it. And this guy got all kinds of shit out of it. And I've lost a few subs over that because I actually said, don't like it, don't watch.
To be fair, you shouldn't fucking swear anyway, mate. You should have a bit more decorum about you.
Yeah, I actually don't swear a lot. I don't swear a lot, right? No.
We're all silver fucking tongued here.
Certain words I don't use, right? Because they're banned on my channel anyway. But don't come on my channel and tell me how to run my channel. Oh, I'm going to report you to YouTube. Well, good luck with that. They won't do shit. But anyway, I'm gutted, absolutely heartbroken. It feels like a loss. It's not, walking out of there with a point, I suppose we'll accept it. But I'm gutted, man. I'm absolutely gutted. Gutted.
Yeah, you impressed me. You impressed me today, to be honest. You really did impress me today. Because apart from the Trossard stupidity, which was absolutely fucking ridiculous, because the main thing at the minute, what everybody's looking at is the kicking the ball away. So to do that was absolutely retarded. There's no other way to actually look at it. Yeah. And what you did after that was just awesome. I mean, and even I was like, when they got the goal at the end, I mean, I don't like Arsenal anyway, as you know. But even I was like, man, that was unfair. It was more unfair on Raya, because I thought Raya was absolutely fucking outstanding today. Yep. And he really is fucking coming on big style for Arsenal. Sure. Big style.
I tell you what, Yeti, it's a good thing this old boy don't go and watch your channel, mate, because you'll be reported within minutes. You know what I mean? Can't sweat.
Oh, mate, I'll be cancelled in seconds, bro.
You can't sweat. I've got a poll, guys. I'll have to jump off a bit in a minute to do fan cam, then I'll come back, all right?
Yeah.
But, I mean,
we've got a lot to talk about tonight, Jess, so we'll be going for at least 2-3 hours anyway, so we'll most likely be live quite a while long, I'll say.
Going for the big one, are you? You're going for the big one.
He wants to break Tom's record.
We're gonna do a league gunner, right? We're gonna be live until about 8 a.m.
Yeah, but you ain't called it emergency meeting. You need to call it emergency meeting.
That's true. I missed out on that. Damn, I should have asked Tony to stick the big everything block capitals and stick the red spinny light emojis on either end.
Fucking hell.
That would. But yeah.
Yes, when you go on your thingy, you know, do you know when you go on your what is it, your little vlog with Lee Gunner? Can you watch your P's and Q's, please? Yeah.
Yeah. Stop swearing, man.
You were watching when that guy said that, weren't you? That old guy. You were in the chat. And I'm like,
I was in the chat. I was floating around different shows and that, but I didn't see his comment. No, but now you mentioned it, I should have a look. What is he back barred on your?
In the end, I got Mama to block him. I said, "Look, mate, I apologise for these swear. I don't swear a lot, right? But this is not.
Fuck off."
This channel is not made for children. And I said it's an adult channel, and he went, "Well, it doesn't say that anywhere." I said, "Well, no, it won't, will it?" I said, at the end of the day, it's a football channel. I said, mate, don't ever go to a game. Don't ever go to a game because you're going to be crying.
Just don't leave your front door. Just don't leave your fucking front door, because if you don't like swearing, you're going to wear it everywhere.
This guy's about the same age from his picture, right? Yeah, he's about the same age as me, and I'm thinking, what is wrong with you, man? Why are you watching football, right? And you're watching me, and it's an Arsenal game. Do you honestly think there's going to be no swearing at any point?
Oh, you bloody bugger! Oh, you bloody bugger! You did that wrong. You bloody bugger.
Yeah.
Like I said, nobody ever.
He's got to start saying whoopsie daisies.
Wow.
Honestly, man, I'll never have anybody tell me what to do on my channel.
All Raya did a whoopsie.
Whoopsie.
I'll be back in a little bit, all right? I'll catch you in a bit, yeah? I'll catch you
All
in a
right.
bit.
All right, see you, Jez. No swearing.
I never swear.
No.
Ever fucking swear.
Fucking
But,
wankers. Catch you in a bit, boys. All right.
I'll see you in a bit, Jez.
See you in a sec, Jez.
Right.
But
doesn't swear. Fucking lying bastard. Jesus.
He fucking swears all the fucking time. I mean, I never fucking swear. Ever. Fucking no chance.
Lovely. But anyway.
Lovely.
Let's start with proceedings, shall we? With the weekend's fixtures. Chelsea versus West Ham, of course, as the scoreline reads as 3-0 to Chelsea. Nicholas Jackson suddenly looking like Mr. Clinical.
I know.
Scoring, setting things up, making things tick. And West Ham, I mean, I've stuck this up on the top right hand of your screens. Julian fucking Lopetegui. At first, it was sort of, we've got Julian fucking Lopetegui. And now it's sort of turned a 180. And now it's turned into Julian fucking Lopetegui again. Seriously, get this guy out. I mean, if I go to the star comments, Matt Foster's already starting to draw a few lines. I mean, what do we think? I mean, we'll go with Jose first. I mean, do you watch the game? And
I watched a little bit because I was streaming yesterday at them times, but I did watch a bit of it. I could have told people before the start of the season about Lopetegui. He's definitely Marmite. You either like him or you don't like him. You either like his tactics or you don't like his tactics. West Ham definitely spent some would say is a king's ransom in bringing him players in this summer. And like any team, it's going to take time to bed players in when you bring them in. You know, we're only 5 games into the season, but he hasn't. He started off with players that he hadn't bought. I think he only started with first 3 games. I think only 1 player started in the first 11. All the others have been put in bit by bit as the games have gone along. I found it weird. I mean, only he'll know the workloads of the players, but I found it weird that Somerville got a start yesterday. For me, if Antonio's not fit and you're not going to play him up front, then it's obvious that Bowen's going to go down the middle. But if Antonio was fit, because he got the second half, I would have thought they would have started with Bowen down one side and Kudos down the other. So it's kind of strange, the selections that he picked. He's brought a load of defenders, but he's still using Mavropanos as the centre half, which I found a bit weird as well. So, you know, at the end of the day, I don't know, is 5 games enough? I mean, we've sat managers at our club in less than 5 games and said, "Cool, this ain't working out. You're going out the door." But I don't know, is 5 games enough? Like I said, Lopetegui, you take him. Is Marmite. You either take him or you don't. In Spain, obviously, I'm being a Spanish person. I'm fully aware of what he was like in Spain, and in Spain, it was exactly that. Some people liked him, and some people didn't like him at all. So I think West Ham are set with him. I don't think they're going to do anything with him differently. If you back a manager like they've backed him, then you've backed him. So basically, you've got to stick with him and follow processes, projects, whatever you want the buzzwords to be. You need to follow them and see them through. But I do think there's been some strange lineups for West Ham this season.
100%. And I suppose as well with with the style of play, if there's anything that I had to say about Julian Lopetegui, it's that there's
Back in the set, guys.
David Moyes almost had a similarity in terms of a tactical approach or how it appeases on the eye and how teams play football. There's certain similarities there. It's like he's not this revolutionary manager. He's got quite a air of dominance about him as Julian Lopetegui, and a commanding presence on the touchline. Because during that game, he was effing and blinding, throwing his arms everywhere, and the fact that he subbed off one of his midfielders within the first half, I think it's about 35th minute, 36th minute, subbed off.
But did you see how slow that player was? The player they took off was so slow. He was getting toasted, weren't he, big time? And it's the setup as well. They played with him. It was a centre midfielder that kept dropping back into to make the 3, and then he was making the 3, weren't he? He was making it a 3-5-2, and then he then fell back into the right back position when he got roasted on the right hand side. Yeah, at the end of the day, I just think it was weird selections yesterday for West Ham. Yeah. Weird selections.
It was Rodriguez that came off and replaced by Thomas Soucek, which is not really all that much quicker, but is a bit more know-how as to dealing with midfield battles, you could say. Anthony, what's your verdicts on the game in general?
Well, I'll be honest with you, it was something that I think I went for a draw in this game, but predicting the way thing goes, I mean, obviously Jackson scoring 2 goals in the first 20 minutes of the game, and then obviously Palmer scored the third. But listen, it's a shame Tony's not here, because Tony knows that I would give him so much stick about this, and it's funny why he's actually gone away for this weekend. He is hiding. And do you know what, Yeti? Me and Fuzzy, we had so much stick on shows after shows after. Oh, we signed 5 players. Then it was 7. Then it was 9. Then 10, 11. I actually call them Forest number 2, right? And this is true. But with all these players that they've signed, he hasn't started. He didn't start with them in the first couple of games of the season. Then he started gradually introducing these new signings. I mean, Somerville. Don't get me wrong. I think he's a good player. He is a good player, and obviously that he's one of the best players when Leeds was in the Prem.
He sings some good songs.
Yeah, Jimmy. Yeah, and then obviously, this striker they've got up, Falkirk. I mean, obviously, me and Fuzzy knows what we call him. Yeah, but I tell you what, there's nothing there. There's nothing there, and they're on about Moisey. I mean, I heard Tony say it. They think like the style of play. They think David Moyes, his tactics are still creeping in within the team. Personally, they maybe are, but in all fairness, it's like what we said with Lopetegui. I agree with what you put that in the comments. I think he is on borrowed time. And I'll be honest with you, we've seen it with him at Wolves. I think he's just going to get up. He's either going to be sacked, or he'll most probably get up and say, look, this is not for me. I'm going to walk. So obviously it's going to be one of the two. And the money that they spent this season, I mean, you look really on the table. I mean, nothing. I mean, what is it now? 5 games gone into this season so far. Absolutely. I tell you what, if they don't turn it round fast, I'm going to feel sorry for West Ham and their fans, because it's going to be a long road ahead with them, especially for West Ham.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, as far as factual information goes with West Ham, this is their worst home start of all time as a football club. First time they've ever lost 3/4. Actually, no, 3 consecutive home games, all of them losses, and you think, well, it's this wasn't even the result-wise wasn't even that bad under David Moyes. I mean, how do West Ham turn that around? They have won games this season, but for the players that they've got available, the depth that they've got, the options they have, does Julian Lopetegui know what his best team is, or is he doing these experimentations to figure out what who can I trust and who's next to me on the chopping block? out the door with the club. But will Julian Lopetegui last long enough to actually be able to oversee changes like that? I mean, being a bit of a brutal league, I mean, managers in the Championship and other divisions after 8 games have been sacked. So the sackings have happened this weekend. So what's to say that Lopetegui couldn't follow a similar pattern if things do not improve for West Ham? What's your thoughts on this, Yeti?
Well, I've only seen the highlights of it, and I personally think that they did what a lot of teams do. When you get like a striker that's not really doing anything, you kind of like just ignore them and just let them do what they want to do. And I think that's what they did with Jackson. And the thing is, Jackson's got all the abilities there. And if you just leave him to do that, he's going to do it, and exactly what happened. I mean, they've signed a lot of players, a lot of good players as well, really good players, but it just don't seem to be working. Is that down to Lopetegui's system or what? Because there's a good base there on West Ham. There's a really good base there, and the players they brought in, they should be doing a hell of a lot better, to be honest. And they just didn't look in that game at all. And that's just watching the highlights. That's not even watching the game. They just did not look in that game at all. Their defense was all over the place. Players were just running through them left, right, and centre. Are Chelsea on it and better than what we think? I don't think so. I think West Ham have really got some serious issues there.
Yeah, and to be fair, watching, especially the first half in that game, the relative ease that Chelsea midfielders found with just passing through straight into the feet of Jackson or into space. I mean, I think 2 of their goals came from just passing through midfield.
Yeah,
quite simple, straightforward, and West Ham defence not able to really deal with it. I mean,
it was just so easy. I mean, and that's just watching highlights. I mean, it just looked so easy to cut through.
Yeah, but interesting that you mentioned about Chelsea. Perhaps it's not really Chelsea finding improvement or getting significantly better. A bit more of a full story. It was just West Ham's lack of ability to actually deal with Chelsea on the day. My question, more so flipping the script to Chelsea, is that attack looks very potent when everyone's on it.
Yeah.
If Chelsea start to find a bit of rhythm and consistency, do they become? Is this the potential resurgence, if you will, of Chelsea
100%,
coming away
100%.
from mid-table mediocrity? Because I think we can all agree that defence, some question marks there, and maybe midfield, a few question marks there. But I think they've got the attack more or less sorted out. There's a huge amount of depth there, and plenty of game changes as well. So, I mean, what do we think? Do we think Chelsea are on the come up?
If they keep winning their games, right? Even he keeps switching his team around, Maresca, and they have got a serious bench as well. They've got a lot of good players, and it's just about gelling them all together. And even if they're playing at half tilt, so to speak, I didn't see the whole game, but if they were playing at half tilt yesterday to get past West Ham, and West Ham caused a lot of their own misfortune as well, then you just pick up the W, you pick up the 3 points, and that gives you a boost going on to your next game, and then your next game after that. Chelsea, if you ask Chelsea supporters, and you've got some in the chat, did you think you'd be on as many points as you are now after 5 games? Do you know what I mean? And I think Chelsea supporters will be honest and answer that for themselves as well. And they'll probably say that we've exceeded where we thought we would be after 5 games. At the end of the day, you've got to play who's in front of you, and if they're picking up the points, then get on them. But they'll only grow in confidence from doing so, in my belief.
100%. I mean, Anthony, was your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Chelsea's brought their players in, and obviously got a new manager this season. Don't get me wrong, it was a big step up from him, even though he won the championship with Leicester. But we're there thinking, oh, right, how long is he going to last on the job? Is he going to quickly, get behind the team, get the players performing how they should be performing on the pitch? But as time goes on this season, I mean, he mentioned it. He's hit the nail on the head, and he turned around. He said, "Look, if you ask any Chelsea fan where you're going to be this, so far 5 games into this season, would you take it?" And obviously, Chelsea fans would probably say, "Yeah." I mean, they've got the money to buy players. They have got so much talent there; it's unreal. But you can only pick a decent 11 aside. Do you know what I mean? And those players are good, top quality players. But what he was trying to do was play all these 11 players on the pitch, trying to get some spark, a bit of chemistry out of them. And I think he's actually done that as time's gone on. So I feel that Chelsea, I feel that they're going to be a good team this season. They'll definitely be. I think I predict them to finish around about. I think 5th or 6th this season. It's going to be, you're placing European anyway for them. But it's like what I said, they got the money. They played really well against West Ham. I'll be honest with you, West Ham's been very poor this season. I'm not. I feel sorry for Tone, West Ham fans. It's the fans mainly, but obviously the buck stops with the manager. He's the one that's picking the team. He's the one that's trying to get the best out of players on the pitch. And at the minute at West Ham, they're not producing anything. So it's going to have to be looked into. And the problem is going to have to be solved and quick. I said if he goes, I think that West Ham team they've got there, I think is in contention for Graham Potter. I really do. I think Potter gets something out of that team.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
Yeah.
I mean, what's your full take on that, Yeti? Do you think that with Chelsea, this is the big opportunity that they've got to really lay the foundations for a strong season? Chelsea.
I fucking hate Chelsea, mate. Because for the simple reason, it's not because they're like our rivals or anything like that. Because they're trying to sign more players than what we did when we came into the Premier League. So they're trying to take our title of signing too many fucking players. So, yeah, but I mean, they've got so much quality there. If you could actually get that to work, they could take over the old fucking thing. 100%. I mean, if they'd probably have got Osherman when they was trying to get him, I think that would have been a game changer. If they'd have actually got Osherman, then that would have been a game changer. They would have been up there or up there, thereabouts. But, if he can get it working, and Nicholas Jackson seems to be, scoring goals now. So, scary team. I think it's a really, really scary. Chelsea is a scary team. There's no doubt about that. So if they can actually get it together and get it working, then I think they could fucking really move on, personally.
Yeah, lovely. I mean, I think with the 3-0 scoreline, usually you'd say with West Ham away, that's a good scoreline. But yeah, I think
100%.
What somebody said earlier on, Pepsi Pack here said West Ham like it was only 3. I think that's a story. It's going to be a story for quite a few teams, especially with Crystal Palace, for example, which we'll cover later on in the show. We'll move this on to the next game on the agenda, which was Aston Villa beating Wolves 3-1. I don't know if anybody sort of caught highlights of this game at all or followed this game, but it looks like it was going to be Wolves picking up points. I think they were at home, weren't they? Wolverhampton.
Well, no, Villa.
Was it Villa Park?
Villa.
Was it Villa Park? Yeah.
It was their first game after playing in the European Champions League.
Yeah.
Nice. So, yeah, I mean, it was looking like it was Wolves to take all 3 points on the day. Cunha was the person to decide that.
What a goal! What a goal as well! What a goal from Cunha!
Yeah.
It looked like that was going to be the case until 73rd minute, when Ollie Watkins found the back of the net, and after that, the rest was history. Not able to sort of hold out on things and just let the results slip away. We'll start with Jose on this one. Do you think it was Aston Villa brilliance, or do you reckon it was just Wolves losing their edge?
I got a Villa. Sorry, I got a Wolves supporter who comes in my chat, and whilst I was doing the watch along, he was in my chat, but he was also watching the Wolves Villa game at the same time. And he said that Wolves went there with a game plan, and the game plan for 73 minutes worked for them. That's not to say that Villa didn't have any chances, because they did. I think Villa's game changer yesterday, in all honesty, was Morgan Rogers. And Morgan Rogers has been firing all season since the start of the season for him. He's played really, really well. And he was the game changer for him. He set up 2 of the 3 goals. And he was here, there, and everywhere. He was in the 10, he was in the 8. He went out wide, and he really carried the game. I mean, I was waiting to see what would happen to Aston Villa, obviously, because they'd played in Europe. Now, it's not that they had to travel so far, but it's the first time that they're taking on the top European trophy and having to play in the league and have to manage their players and that. I mean, I don't know how Aston Villa will get on later on this season, but they seem to have not done much rotation at all with the players that played in Europe and that have played in the Premiership. Whether that catches up with them later on down the line, I don't know. Watkins wasn't scoring for toffee, was he? And now he's got 2 and 3. And they got that lad Duran who come off the bench, and every time I see him come off the bench,
he looks
Villa,
good, doesn't he?
He looks a good player as well. So, and the other thing about Aston Villa is Emery's no mug. Emery is a really, really good tactician, and his in-game management is absolutely superb. Emery changes things. He moves his players like chess pieces to adapt to the game in the situation that they're in. And I think that had he been given a bit more time at another club before he went to Villa, he may have brought them success as well. But they got rid of him. He's now at Villa, and Villa are the luckier for having him there, in my eyes. But they're another team who went out and bought the whole world, and people were raving about all their buys and that. And 2 of their buys that they got have already gone out on loan. So they're really what they're doing is they're trusting the old guard that played for them last season, and obviously a couple of returning loanee players, which I think Rogers was one of them. So, but yeah, but Villa so far on the eye have looked a good side.
Yeah,
sturdy, and I think that's how Emery likes to build his teams. Not the best quality in the world, but sturdy, tough to beat. And they'll willingly dig in and get a job done, no matter how ugly the football is. It's all about 3 points in Emery's book. So,
and with Wolves, they've got a really thin squad as it is anyway, and losing Mosquera as well yesterday.
Yeah,
that was it was an innocuous challenge. It wasn't. No one went in wholeheartedly to hurt someone. It's just his legs twisted from underneath him, and that looks like he's got a bad one there. So, and they've got a paper thin squad as it is. So Gary O'Neill's up against it as it is. The good thing about Wolves at the moment is Wolves have, whether we call it the kiss of death or not, the hierarchy at Wolves have come out and said they totally back O'Neill. They understand the squad size, they understand the fixtures that they had to start off with, and that they're behind him. And I hope they are, because Gary O'Neill has shown me in 2 seasons, full seasons as a manager, one at Bournemouth and one at Wolves, that he's has good tactical IQ for the game, and he's a very good manager as well.
Yeah, I agree.
So Anthony, what's your take on this Aston Villa side? Do you think it's an interesting point that Jose raised about the squad depth and the lack of rotation? Is that a sign of things to come for the season for them, with the additional European competition, and not just that, but more games to be played in that European competition, as well as Carabao Cup, as well as the FA Cup as well? Will they have a similar outcome seasonally that Newcastle had when they were in the Champions League as an extra competition?
I don't know. I mean, what it is, they've had a good buy in this window, Aston Villa, and they've added depth to the squad. I mean, as they said it on, the books and players in, and he put them out on loan. And in all fairness, that was what Unai Emery did when he was our manager at Arsenal. He bought him Saliba and loaned him to the club where we bought him from. So it was something like that. So he relies on his players. But listen, this is a brilliant manager, and he can get the best out of the players. Look at how he got the best out of Ollie Watkins, taking over Aston Villa at the 17th position, and now they're playing Champions League football. I mean, going back to the game, I mean, yeah, the goal from Wolves, that was a brilliant goal. Ollie Watkins in the 73rd minute. I mean, Constance getting that second goal, what a goal from a defender. I mean, let's be honest, that was a fantastic goal. And you mentioned his name, Durant. I think he's a brilliant player, and he's only 20 years of age.
Yeah,
20.
and they've turned down so many offers for him as well in the window.
Yeah.
Big offers as well, 35, 40 million, then they've said no.
West Ham,
yeah.
They turned down West Ham as well. So, he's one of those, it's like, I'm not saying he's going to go anywhere, but listen, if let's see if they had a decent offering for Ollie Watkins, and Ollie Watkins decided to leave Aston Villa, I'm just saying, right? It wouldn't matter, because they got Durant there. A young guy, 20 years, a Colombian international as well, and I just think he's
20.
brilliant. Yeah, he's 20. Yeah, I think he's brilliant. I think he's fantastic, and I've got to be honest with you. I think that is a decent buy from Unai Emery. And Fuzzy, you mentioned it about the all the competitions that they're going to be in and all that. I think Aston Villa might win a cup this season. The way I looked at this season, I've seen Aston Villa. Okay, we beat them, but in all fairness, I think they'll be up for a cup, whether it's a Carabao Cup or maybe reaching that FA Cup final. They could most probably go on and win that, because I tell you what, the team they've got there, I think they've got what Unai Emery's done. He's actually used his head in the transfer market. He's actually created this balance, in the team, and this balance is everywhere. It is brilliant. And I tell you something now, Aston Villa, they're going to be a team to watch this season, but also they're very enjoyable to watch as well. And I just wish nothing for the best for Aston Villa, because they're not really a team that I really dislike, are they? In my opinion. Yeah, I think they'll win a cup this season, Fuzzy. I really do.
Nice. Do you agree with that, Yeti? Do you think Aston Villa got the tools, the juice to do it?
I'm actually going to go a little bit further. I mean, first of all, I'm going to say something about Wolves, because I do think, like what El Cockerel said about Wolves, I think they play some really good stuff. I think they don't finish their dinner at times, and I think that's what kind of screws them up. But I do think this manager is something for the future. Absolutely. He seems to know what he's doing. He seems to get his teams working in the right direction. And I think Wolves are onto a good thing with that. But on to Aston Villa, I would look to even more than a cup, to be honest. And the reason I say that is because they go down a goal and they bring it back. And they've got that ability to bounce. What did Wenger used to say? Was it bounce back ability? I think it was Wenger that said bounce back ability. And they seem to have that. And the thing is, they seem to have got Watkins like scoring again. I'm seeing the Watkins that I saw when he played for Brentford, I think it was. Back in the Championship when we was there. I'm seeing that player again, so he's brought that back. And then you've also got that Duran, which just looks fucking amazing. So if you can, if Watkins ain't doing it, then Duran's doing it. And I think they've got such a fucking good team. I tell you what, guys, they are the team to watch out for. In the next few seasons, they're the team to watch out for, because I think there's big things for Villa. I think there's big things coming.
I think there could be, but the problem you got is that You need a lot of luck to win trophies, and you honestly do. You need
Mhm.
variables to be. And the one variable that I see against Aston Villa is their squad size and their squad depth. That's the only
Mhm.
variable I see against them, because at the moment they've got most of their players fully fit, and he's not rotating at the
Yeah,
moment.
yeah,
Now, if they
yeah,
start to get injuries, like anybody, but some teams can handle injuries
yeah,
more than others. Like Man City
yeah.
have got three first teams, haven't they? So they get a few injuries.
Mm.
Man City can still stick out a first team. Not many people have got the luxury of some other squads in the Premiership. And I think Villa have
True,
got very, very good
true.
players, but if they start getting a run of injuries, then I'd like to see them how they stand up to that. To be honest,
Mm.
but
Yeah,
as a good,
good
but they're a
point.
very good
Good
side. But they're
point.
a very, very good side.
Yeah, good point. Good point.
Just a
Yeah.
quick touch on, I know we've sort of grazed Wolves a little bit with their concerning situation with the squad. Do you guys see them as potential relegation candidates, or do you think it's just a
Nah.
bad start for
No.
you? You'll level things out a little bit as the season goes on.
I've had them. If you want me to go for, I had Wolves to go down this season. I had them along
Mm.
with Wolves, Everton, and Southampton. They're the
Mhm.
three who personally I think that might go down. But in all fairness, I didn't really want Everton to go down because the amount of the long time, the years that they've had in top flight football, Everton, and if they do go down this season, it's just going to be a bit weird with them not being in the Premier League. But unfortunately, it's like what the saying goes, is in a time there always comes an end. So obviously, I think unluckily for Everton, I thought that is going to be, it's going to be their time to go down, and it's very unfortunate because they're moving into their new stadium in January, and I believe that's around about, is that around about 60,000, I believe, 65 there roundabouts. So it's going to be a team like that. If they do get relegated with a 60,000 capacity in the championship, are they going to be able to get, are they going to get enough basically bums on seats next season
Mm.
if they are relegated in the champ? That's going to be the Everton's only problem. But it is what it is. But unfortunately, it's like what we said last week. They were 2-0 up, and they,
Yeah, that was bad. That was
yeah,
bad. That was because there was controlling the game and
yeah,
everything, and then all of a sudden, Aston Villa showing what they're about, and it just sort of went from that point. So that was really bad in my opinion. I mean, do I give a shit if Everton go down? No, not really. Because I mean, Everton are my second team. They always have been anyway. But the thing is, we've been down there for 23 years. Nobody actually gave a fuck about that. So, why should I give a fuck about it if anybody else goes down? It makes no difference to me as long as we don't.
no. The only thing that I liked I watched Match of the Day. And when they interviewed, I didn't know if you watched it, but when they interviewed Unai Emery after the game, he said, "Your thoughts on the first half?" He said, "Yeah, the first half wasn't great. We were beat." He said, "We were shit." He actually said that in his interview. I don't know if anybody watched it, but no, I was watching it this morning, and I was thinking, what did he say there? So I had to rewind it back, and he actually did drop the word. He said, "We were shit." But,
Good, good. That's what managers should do. That's what
yeah.
managers should do.
Clear
But
and honest verdict.
there you go, Fuzzy.
Mate, if you got Brian Clough back in the day, he would tell it exactly the way it was.
Yeah.
He would say exactly the way it was. So why not? I mean, are we like all flower unicorn people that we don't actually fucking swear at any point in time? If you think it was shit, and that's it.
Yeah, but everyone and their dog is media trained now, aren't they? And have been for the last 20 odd years. So you
Yeah,
can't, basically, in all honesty, yeah, freedom of speech has gone out of the window, because
yeah,
everybody is media trained, and you're told basically what to say. Even reporters are told what they can and can't ask before
yeah,
you interview somebody.
absolutely.
So, but that wasn't like that back in the day. Back in the day, like you said, Cluffy, there were characters back in the day, and if you asked them a question, you got an honest answer.
Yeah,
And that's managers and players back in the day. But as I said, everyone is media trained
100%.
now, and everyone's a bit savvy about what they may or may not say now. So yeah, if you had someone come out like that, then God, it would be a breath of fresh air.
Yeah. I mean, you've only just met me, but can you imagine me on Sky Sports? I'd be cancelled in fucking 2 seconds.
I think people would want to get you on there just for the sake of doing that. So, please get him on. We hate Sky Sports. If we can damn the channel, then we've beaten the Antichrist of TV channels. Good stuff. Good stuff. I will move this on to sorry, Mama Flossie, the Fulham Newcastle game.
Yeah.
Long day at the office in London for Newcastle. What went wrong for them?
Can I start? I don't
Yeah.
think Newcastle are everything they're cracked up to be. I said this before the start of the season. Newcastle have got some very good players, but but they haven't got very good players everywhere all over the pitch. And for them, unfortunately, if their players, their good ones, don't click, then Newcastle won't click. And this Newcastle will lose more games away from home than what they're going to win. Newcastle are not very good travellers.
Do you not think that Eddie Howe was let down a little bit in the window, though?
Yeah,
to be fair,
to be in all honesty, yeah, right. The money, I think everybody's being let down because the days that when we could go out and spend willy nilly have now gone because of all these rules that keep coming in, and the rules are there and they're put in place. And Newcastle, they obviously don't make the income generation that other clubs may make. I mean, they might have the Geordies have got a great support. Don't get me wrong, they got fantastic support, but at the stadium they don't get the receipts. They don't make the money that they need to make at the stadium in order to afford them to spend further money in the market. And they're restricted because of the incomes that they get. They're very much restricted. And I think Eddie Howe knew that. Eddie Howe knew that, you could only do certain bits and pieces. I mean, when they was trying to go for the boy from Crystal Palace and they offered up to 70 million for him, I mean, we're never going to know, but I reckon that 70 million was offered and broken down in installments and all sorts to try and get to that number anyway, because they just haven't got the money to spend. And it's unfortunate because they're a big club, but they're in a big city, big club. They've got great support, but they just haven't got the incomes coming in that other clubs have got in order to go out and spend. So, but I think Eddie knew that. I think he knew that when he went there. But yeah, I can't see their goalkeeper. Their goalkeeper frightens me. Every time you play against Nick Pope, I think Newcastle are going to concede. The goalkeeper frightens me, and it starts from him at the back. He frightens me, and from there's other players within that team that they've got to click. They've all got to be on their game. Two players not being on their game, they fall down like a pack of cards, in my opinion. And I'm not surprised. I had Fulham to win that all day long yesterday before the game started. So it didn't surprise me, the result, but it won't be the last time either that Newcastle lose away from home. And a couple of ex-Gooners scored yesterday as well, hadn't they?
Oh, I know. So yeah. He had to rub it in there, didn't he? I was literally going to come and say that. Do you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. This guy Smith Rowe, what a player!
I said that you never needed to get rid of that guy. I said it.
Never need to get rid of him, and I think that is the biggest mistake of Mikel Arteta. I mean, we're worse off now when after this transfer window, than before it. So, in all fairness, the talent of Smith Rowe. I mean, don't get me wrong. It was a good goal at the end of the day. I know the keeper fumbled it, hit the keeper.
It's a goal. He's been quality ever since he's gone there.
It's still a good goal, but I mean, I mean, going back on the game, I think Fulham overpowered Newcastle, which was surprising because I actually predicted this game to be a draw. I can't remember. I either said 1-0 or 2-2 in this game, but I think Harvey Barnes, he got the goal for Newcastle. He's out there on the left. He's stopping Gordon from playing it, isn't he? Harvey Barnes. He's literally stopping Anthony Gordon. I don't know why. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's good, but when you see that rotation between both, whether one's out injured, a decent player is going to come in on that left hand side, and you're still going to get the same performance no matter what. That's the advantage there is what with what Newcastle's got. There was talks about Isaac whether he's going to be in the game because he had an injury to his eye. So obviously, that. But there was nothing there in that Newcastle team. Honestly, I'm sorry, Mama, if you're watching, but I think he's sadly going. It started to go like this for Newcastle at the start of the season, and now it's sort of tipping. He's on that verge of tipping. He's going down now. But I mean, listen, we all had bad spells throughout the season, but with Newcastle, it's best to have it's best to have their spells now than going towards the end of the season. Do you know what I mean? So obviously, I mean they'll soon pick up. They'll soon pick up. They just need to win a game. Something like maybe like a 3-0 or something like that, which ups the momentum, with the team, and they can go on and produce games. But with a team like Newcastle, every 5 games, I will say every 5 games, you expect Newcastle to at least win 2 or 3 games out of every 5. So, but Joel Linton is the man there at the minute.
I think Fulham need to be given some respect here as well. But definitely. I mean, they are doing really well as well. I mean, he's not just looking at Newcastle not being good enough; he's also looking at Fulham as well. And bringing in ESR and having Reece Nelson as well. I think they've got 2 players there that have got a new lease of life in what they're doing. Look, I like Newcastle, don't get me wrong. I think their defence is very aged, and I think they needed to improve that, and that's probably why they was going for Gay or whatever his name is. And, and I think that's why they sort of made that the mainstay. I think they should have kind of gone for a little bit more because I think up front they've got some cracking players in Anthony, what's his name, Barnes, Tonali, and the midfield should be absolutely solid, and it's just not working at the minute. I mean, let's not cut corners here. They were shit yesterday. They were shit. And I only saw like the the highlights of it, but they was terrible. In every single goal, it was terrible. So, yeah.
We'll start that. What I'll do, because I know quite a few questions, is I'll star them and we'll revisit them as talking points later on once we cover the games. But big ups to everybody. Get your questions in, so we'll more or less have like a Q&A, bounce back and forth with a few talking points as well. So yeah, Arsenal lot at Fulham finding new leases of life. It's another case of life after Arsenal. It's like it's a toxic experience that people need to break free of, and they always flourish, it seems. Unless you're Mesut Ozil, of course, then you sort of go down the drain a bit. Or Alexis Sanchez, but the less said about that, the better. Somebody else that seems to be struggling with travelling away, but also playing at home, or just winning games, or holding on to leads. Can't do it. No matter which way they try to do it, how they try to do it, no matter how much gravel their manager eats, or bricks he chews down on in the dressing room, or bricks he throws at his players' heads. Sean Dyche and Everton can't buy a win at the moment. What do you guys think? Problems for Everton.
When we've played them already, when we played them, they were awful. Well, they were awful. Probably the only thing I think that when we went and played them, the only thing I was wary of is their set pieces. Other than that, they've lost Onana and they've replaced him with Iragbunam, and 2 totally different players. They just haven't got the quality, I don't think, ever. And I think with everything that's gone on at their club in the last, I'd say 8 to 10 years, all the mismanagement that's gone on there with the owner and their policy of who they went out and bought when Benitez was there, and it followed Benitez after that. They just have no quality. You look on the flanks and they've got Harrison, They've got that Iliman Ndiaye, who doesn't look too bad, but he looks like he wants to play for the Bads. But they've got him. They've got I think McNeil's a good player, the number 7. I think he's a decent player.
Yeah.
Calvert-Lewin's a one-trick pony, and he's always one tackle away from being injured for 15 games. The replacement in Beto is absolutely shocking, not Premiership standard, and it's just their squad. Their overall squad is so thin, and the players that they've got are just awful. And yeah, to me, Leicester. I've only seen the highlights of this game. I didn't watch much of this game apart from the highlights. But before the game had started, I had a Leicester to win that. The two wingers, I like the two wingers that they got. Mavididi, who scored yesterday, but they've got Mavididi and the other guy that plays for them out wide. Very good players. Sorry?
They had Ayew playing on the right, I think, that game.
Yeah, but it's not Ayew. I'm thinking of something. They've got another winger that plays out for them as well. I don't know if he plays this thing, but I like the look of them too. Vardy's going to do. Oh God, Vardy's 36, 37, but he's going to do a job for you.
Yeah, of course he is.
Yeah. Everton could do with a Vardy instead of a Calvert-Lewin. Everton could do with a Vardy. So it's two teams that I expect to be in and around the mix towards the bottom of the league, and so it panned out in a 1-1 draw. I think Everton will probably be the happier of the two because it means their first point on the board for the season. But for Leicester, it's another point that they've gained. I think Leicester are now on 3 points. It's another point that they've gained. So.
Doing well.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do we think, guys? Is this it for Everton? Is their Premier League run finally coming to a close? Is the sun setting for the top?
It is, to be honest, it is actually looking like it, to be honest. I mean, you watch them and you see them like play Villa and they went 2-0 up and it was looking like, you know what, they might be sort of coming back. But then to actually go 2-0 up and then lose it is like a massive thing. So I don't think they'll go down because I think there's too many teams at the bottom that's actually gonna go down, to be fair. I mean, Southampton won, I think, this week, but they don't look that great. Leicester, I think Cooper might do his super job because we made him, guys. We made him. Just remember that. We made him. So, yeah. I mean, I don't know with Everton. I don't think they'll go down, though, to be honest.
Well, I think he's treading on thin ice now. Sean Dyche. In all fairness, I feel sorry for him for the squad that he's got. Obviously they haven't really bought in big. They haven't really bought in any decent players. I know with him going out that midfield to Aston Villa, that was a big chunk out the spine of the team, and they replaced him with, well, obviously Dross. Let's be honest. But I look at this team. I feel he's going to be sacked. I don't know, guys. I mean, maybe you can answer this one as well. Is Everton? Could we see David Moyes return? Let's be honest. Could we see him coming back to Everton and seeing if
possibly, yeah,
he can work wonders?
Will he be able to give him a great escape for another season in a row?
Would he want to go there when it's in such a turmoil thing? Would he want to do that?
I don't know, to be honest. Jez,
they need to bring in Sam Allardyce. They'll be fine then.
Big Sam, come back and do the job.
I think he was there before, wasn't he, Big Sam?
Just have Sam Allardyce as the assistant manager to Sean Dyche. So if it's not Sean Dyche beating up players, you've got Big Sam. Yeah, mafia.
I think with Sean Dyche, I think he either gets a team working towards his standards or he doesn't. And if he doesn't, then it's not good. And I think that's pretty much what it is.
Yeah.
I'll just ask Jez this, because I know you're quite gutted about a prospect of Everton going down. If you look at the club now, what would you say the penultimate fix would be for Everton to avoid dropping out of the Premier League?
Winning games.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a simple thing. It's a case of easier said than done, but there are things you can change. What would they be?
I'm hoping that Everton don't go out the league, only for the fact of their track record, second longest team in top flight football. I'm just hoping when they move to their new stadium after Christmas, I think it is. I think I'm right in saying that. That maybe they'll have a bigger stadium to fill, and maybe that will give them a kick on. That they can actually attract more fans. That'll get them keyed up a little bit more, and I'm hoping that will work for them because I don't want to see them go down. I like Everton. I think they're a decent club. I actually love their ground, Goodison Park. To be honest, it's quirky, it's old, it's tight knit, and it's a nice place to go and watch football. To be honest, but I don't know. I do fear for them. I do fear. I'm not sure that they are going to survive. We all know their manager can work miracles at times, but I'm not sure it's going to work. But I hope it does, because I fear that if they do get into such a position, they are in that bad position with the money they've spent on their new stadium. It could be we'll be looking at like a Bolton Wanderers here. They'll go down and down. And for a great club like Everton, with what they've achieved, with some of the great players they've had that I've been privileged to watch over the years, I don't want to see it happen. I honestly don't. But as Yeti's just said, the solution is simple. You got to win.
Yeah.
That's it.
Fair enough. With Leicester, they're chugging along. No wins yet, but picking up a point or two here or there. This supposed points deduction looming around somewhere. God only knows where it is.
Not happening.
It's done. It's not happening. They got off on technicality. It's not happening now.
Oh, okay then.
2 weeks ago they got off away 2 weeks ago on a technicality.
They basically turned round to the committee and said, "Chat shit, get banged," and they go away with it, mate. So.
I wish it was that simple, just to sort of slap up some of your league organisers, just like, what's that you want to deduct points? Chat shit, get bang. Sorry guys, right, we'll take away all your punishments. We'll clear the decks, clean slate for you. But I suppose a lot of people looked at that points deduction and thought, yeah, no, Leicester probably go down with that points deduction. But with that being said, they've started okay for a team that's just got promoted.
Back in the set.
Is there a strong possibility that they can do, a fairly decent slip under the radar a little bit like a Nottingham Forest / Crystal Palace, find themselves into mid-table?
Well, we got them this weekend, didn't we?
Yeah.
We got Leicester at home. So that's going to be an interesting thing that we got to pick ourselves up. I mean, we've got Bolton in the week. I think the kids will be in that game. But, yeah, Leicester, that'll be a test. They're going to come to the Emirates and want to prove a point. So it's going to be a tough one.
Absolutely. Liverpool, the other Merseyside club, things looking a lot better over there off the back of European nights against long-standing European rivals in AC Milan. The storied history with them. Looking like they are back on the right track. Looking like they're playing with a bit of confidence, a bit of swagger. Are we dreading them again, or do you think it's Arne Slot's going to find a few more stumbling blocks this season with Liverpool.
He inherited a good squad, Slot, and that's why he hasn't had to add too much to it. He inherited a really good squad. He's quite wise because it's for him to manage that team, that squad, in whatever competitions Liverpool will be playing part in this year. And then if he wants to make, if he feels that he needs to make any changes, whether it be in the winter or the summer transfer window, he gets a really good look at a decent squad. He's not like come in there and he's got to wait because they're awful. He's actually inherited a really good squad. Very lucky because Liverpool did a lot of revamping while Klopp was there. They revamped defence, then midfield and attack. They revamped it all. For next season, he's going to have to look, I suppose, to see if Salah stays and what happens with Van Dijk, and if there's any others that they want to may get out the door, and is there any people that they want to bring in. But I think Slot will be all right. I think Slot's very good at talent ID, and it's his first time in the Premiership. But from what he's done in Holland, with the teams that he's managed in Holland, he's done very, very well. Liverpool will be there or thereabouts in whatever they play in this year.
Yeah, I think then there's one of these teams right now, as I look at it, they're going to be just slightly under the radar, and they're going to cause a few little problems for teams because, as you say, Slot, he's doing the job there, and you can never write off Liverpool. Let's be honest, they're just not a team you can ever write off. It's one of them days out that you think Liverpool's shit. No, they're not. They're always going to be there or thereabouts. And yeah, I'm not looking forward to having to go to Anfield and play them, and I'm not looking forward to when they come to the Emirates because we've
just do what we did when we went to Anfield and beat them, shut them up.
Well, yeah, good point, yeah, good point. You turned them over. You played, I wouldn't say it was pretty football, but...
Oh, no, well, we just shut them down. That's what we did, and then we took it at the end.
And that's fair play and respect. And that's a major, major, major thing for Nottingham Forest. Let's be fair. Forest, back in the day. Oh, and you've done the job, so respect.
We ate them, mate. We fucking ate them. So that was like a massive fucking thing that we did there.
Yeah. I'm with you. I'm with you on that one. I'm going to have to bounce about 15 minutes, guys. I'm going to have to bounce, but...
So player ratings or is there something?
Sorry?
Is that for player ratings or is that something else?
No, it's an emergency meeting, like always.
Another one.
No swearing, Jess. No swearing.
Yep, don't forget. Here's your
I know it's gone past watershed, but no swearing.
You use some decorum.
I don't swear a lot. Let's be fair. I don't.
You don't?
Fair, that was just amusing. That was. But it is what it is, man. It is what it is.
You know what I would have done if that guy had said that? I'd have just said, "Look, you fucking prick, shut your fucking mouth. I never fucking swear. What the fuck are you talking about, you prick?" That's what I would have done.
Fight fire with fire. That's Yeti's decorum.
To be honest with you,
everything's on fire.
To be honest with you, Mama was there and she was monitoring it, and I didn't actually know what to say at first. I thought, what? What's going on? I had sworn a couple of times. I used the F word, right? You'd have the way this guy was going on, you'd have thought I'd been like F this, F that, F this, F that. And I'm like, hang on, I've probably sworn 3 times in an hour, right? It's football. We all get like I won't.
Of course you do.
When Man City went 1-0 up in 8 minutes, I went, oh, for F's sake.
Yeah, of course.
You're going to say it, aren't you?
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah. I was
fuck this idiot anyway. Fuck this idiot. Who the fuck is he anyway? Fuck off.
Yeah. I was watching the last 2 minutes of your show as well, Jess, because obviously I was watching the game. I got to be honest with you, those last 2 minutes, I count at least 10 F words. You know, I'm not going to lie.
There you go, Karen.
And Anthony had to look up what they meant in the dictionary.
Oh, I googled it.
Thing is, though,
He used Google Translate to find out what they meant.
thing is, guys, all got channels, right?
Mm.
Yeah. What annoyed me the most, wound me up the most, I wouldn't have reacted otherwise, was when he told me when he tried to tell me what to do on my channel. I'm thinking, hang on, it's my channel.
Yeah.
Should have handed the watch along over to him.
Yeah.
We would have liked it.
You can see it. You can see it when Jez goes live next. Everybody in the comments saying, "Come on, Jez, no swearing now, no swearing, no swearing." It's going to be.
What you should have done is you should have sent him the link, and he would have gone on there and gone, "Oh, unicorn, 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 gay, oh LGBTQ, and all that kind of crap."
He must have been about my age, roughly my age, right? 60 odd, yeah. So I'm thinking, what are you saying, man? I was like, nah, can't be having it no more. That's why I got Mama to block him. I said, no, get out.
I said it earlier on today. I was talking to Mama, I was talking to Carl last night, and I said there's so many people that you get in these YouTube things that are in the chat that just probably need to get a fucking life, and that's probably one of the major ones as well. Fucking hell, if you don't like it, fuck off.
The thing is, Yeti, that guy has been in my chat for probably 6 months. So I'm thinking, well, what's this about? Well, you're watching with your grandkids. Well,
why are you watching with your grandkids?
If you're watching with your grandkids, you might as well just stick the football on.
Mm-hmm.
Stick the football on yourself and watch the game with your grandkids.
Yeah, don't watch me. Actually, watch on Sky Sports or whatever channel you're watching it on.
The thing is, as well, it's passion. It's passion for your club. It's passion. That's why you go off like that. I mean, when we lost it, when Morgan Gibbs White got sent off, I went into a major unicorn LGBTQ fucking rant, and that's, it just is what it is because it's passion. It's how you feel. And if you don't show that, then what's the point you being on here anyway?
Exactly, Yeti.
Exactly.
That, we don't do it, right, without passion. I get really wound up by football. You get wound up. Fuzzy gets wound up. We all get wound up. Right, when your team's playing dog shit.
Of course you do.
And so unfortunately, sometimes you don't mean to. You don't mean to say it, but it comes out because you're angry.
Of course it does. Yeah, 100%. If you didn't do that, then you're not really a proper fucking fan, are you? Well, that's what makes a proper fan.
Man City, right here. Man City, right? Man City, Arsenal. Oh, Haaland's just scored. Oh, I'm so upset. Oh no. Oh dear. Oh.
Well, Barbara, pass me the unicorn. Pass me the unicorn. I need to hug the unicorn because Manchester City's just scored.
No, I'm not.
That's just bollocks.
Like I'm in the crowd, at the ground, I'll be going, fuck. Like.
Of course you are. Yeah, exactly. You're going to do that wherever you are.
Yeah.
It is what it is, man.
I think some people that's in the chat need to take up fucking knitting because then you might not get offended at some point. Unless you actually get a bobble in your knitting, then you might get a little bit offended, but that's not our fault. So
imagine a watch-along stream for somebody doing a knitting project. More swearing in that than Jez would have in any of his watch-alongs.
To be honest, that was a plug because on my channel I'm starting a knitting channel. So come join in and I'll knit you a jumper.
I'm doing a crochet one. That'd be
Excellent stuff. Speaking of other games, probably the most uninteresting game we could say, Southampton
Big up, Carl.
Ipswich. Big ups to Carl, of
be
course.
up, Carl.
Oh, cool.
Southampton Ipswich. Man, it's not really a huge amount to say really about this game. Ending 1-1, no sort of significance behind either team moving forwards. It's a shared point, but I think both still very much in the top three favourites of teams to get relegated, to go back down again.
Yeah.
I mean, if you were to say that a point means a lot to certain teams, who's more likely to benefit from that point, Southampton or Ipswich?
Southampton.
I'd actually say Ipswich, because I think they're picking up points all the way along, and I think the way they play is quite impressive as well. They're kind of, there's not many teams that come into the Premier League and just try and take teams on. I mean, they did against Liverpool in the first half. They battered Liverpool in the first half and probably should have got a penalty. And then in the second half, Liverpool obviously turned it on and got it going in that. But I'd say that means a lot more to Ipswich, to be honest, because I think they're out of the bottom three now, to be honest.
Yeah, I think with Ipswich, again, it's another case of a bit like Luton Town. Their manager plays a certain way, come into the Premier League, adjust a few things, try and sort of make yourself a harder team to play against, or a harder team to beat. And whether Ipswich can fare any better than Luton can try and stay up, it'll be monumental for their football club, considering season before last season they were in League One. So the fact that they spent just one season in the Championship to jump straight into Premier League is quite a big step up, because we always say that the gap in quality between Championship and Premier League is monumental. It's massive between the two.
It's massive.
So if you're Ipswich, you've not fully had time to bed yourself in as a Championship club. You've just almost bypassed an entire division to get into Premier League. So if Ipswich are able to do anything in the way of staying up for another season in the Premier League, I think that would be an absolutely worldy of a job. And
I think personally, a lot of the teams that actually came up was relying on the fact that Leicester was going to get docked by 10 points. And that's obviously not happened. And I think a lot of the teams was actually looking at that being the case. But when I think about Ipswich, and a lot of people, this will show your age, to be honest. When I used to have Panini football albums in Ipswich, the one I always remembered was Eric Gates.
Before my time.
No, it's definitely not before your time. But there was somebody called Eric Gates or something. I might have got that name wrong. I don't know.
No, you did. He's an Ipswich player. For me, for me, Ipswich and Southampton equally needed points. I think you've got two managers there, contrasting styles, want to stamp authority on the pitch and play their football. But I think if I was to be honest, it's a point away for Ipswich. But if I was to be honest, it probably meant more to Southampton, because he played his football on the front foot that he wants to play, and they didn't lose, because invariably they've gone out and they've gone out and got spanked by other teams in the Premiership, and he's turned around and said, "I'm not going to change the way I play. I'm going to play the way that I play, and this is the way that I want to play. We'll continue to do this regardless who the opposition is," and he's done that. They led for a long time, didn't they? And he's done that, and they've ended up with a point. It wasn't a defeat. They've ended up with a point, but then equally, you could say the same for Ipswich. A point on the road is a point on the road as well.
But Ipswich get out of the bottom three, so obviously it's going to mean more to Ipswich in that respect.
I think definitely short term, when in terms of reading on the table, It's definitely going to put a lot more people in brighter mindsets, especially if you're a supporter of these newly promoted clubs. You're sort of clinging on to the hope, and it's all just hope. Like, please, like, try and stay up. But you're about to say something.
Yeah, do you know what? Within this game, I got the prediction right. It didn't surprise me. It was 1-1. I called it on our show on Wednesday first. All I'm going to say about this Southampton team, and I will say it, and I touched on it on last Sunday's show. Yes, you remember when I said this. I personally think this is the bad way for Ramsdale to go. It is. I don't think he's good for his career. For him to quickly leave Arsenal and go straight into Southampton, I don't think that's good. I think he's a bad move for him and his career. I personally thought he would have went to a better team, personally. But listen, it's up to him. It just proves how desperate that Ramsdale was dying to get out of Arsenal Football Club. But personally, I think he's hit the wrong team. I wish him all the best. But yeah, I think this one means more. It means more to Southampton than Ipswich. I feel when I compare the two teams playing, I feel Ipswich got more to offer in their team. Their attacking style, their attacking play. I think they've got something better than what Southampton's got at the minute. So, in all fairness, on the two, I think this point, I think I would say it most probably goes into Southampton's favour for them just to get that point.
Fair point.
Lovely stuff. Big Ange, that's who we are, mate. That's who we are, mate. Highline, mate. We'll move the topics on to Spurs after, I think it's fair to say, scraping by Coventry in the midweek game, needing to sub on your top class players to rescue that result. Much improvement by the looks of it yesterday.
Is that to me?
Yeah.
Oh, God. I'd rather hear what my fellow panelists have got to say about yesterday's game rather than me lead on it.
Okay. Well, we'll start with North London rivals. Jez, what was your verdicts on Tottenham's performance?
Not all that, really, was it? Not really.
Well,
I honestly think if I was a Tottenham fan, thankfully I'm not, I would be so frustrated. So frustrated. I mean, I'm frustrated with Arsenal. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. But for what Tottenham should be with that stadium they've got, it's a shit show, to be honest. I actually wonder whether this season, and I know quite a few Tottenham fans, right? And their opinion is it's now time to call this lot out properly, Levy and all that lot, call them out. Postecoglou, I don't think he's that bad as a manager. People are saying it's time for Ange to go. Well, he hasn't had a lot to work with, is he? Let's be fair. Give the man some credence. Yeah, it's the same. It's no bloody different to what Arsenal have done. Arsenal, right, have bought a shed load of crap, right, sold a load of players that we haven't replaced. Look what's happened at ESR. He's living a dream right now. Yeah, having a great time. And Tottenham basically are going nowhere. A bit like Arsenal going. I mean, if Arsenal had got that result today, that would have been one right between the eyes for Pep Guardiola. But we didn't get it over the line because for the last seconds we weren't concentrating. And I can't blame that on the players. But Tottenham Hotspur, right, once, were they ever a proper team? Not in my lifetime, really. before my lifetime, yeah, they did a double. Yeah. But right now, I think they're in a complete and utter shit mess, to be honest.
Anthony, do you agree with the sentiment that Jez has?
I sort of do. I mean, don't get me wrong. I was actually surprised that they actually went 1-0 down in the first minute. I think it was about the first 40 seconds or something of the game. So that was a quick surprise. I mean, obviously, Solanke coming back. I mean, there's talks about this Johnson. I know he scored the winning goal against Coventry. He scored here, but I mean, I got friends that's Tottenham fans, but this Johnson, I believe he cost Tottenham 50 mil. But a lot of them didn't rate him. Be honest with you, the Tottenham fans that I know, they didn't really rate this Johnson. But obviously Maddison scored the winner. I know Son assisted 2 of the goals yesterday, but I feel, in my opinion, I'm not sure if you agree with me on this, but do you think Son sort of deteriorated a bit within performances? I mean, obviously he's not scoring as many goals as what he used to, and that sort of thing. Do you think he's actually dipped in form, Son?
Guys, I've got to bounce, guys. So
Yeah, no worries, mate.
Thanks for joining. Yeti, Anthony, and all you guys. Lovely. Catch you later.
Yeah. Right. See you later, mate. Big up.
Take care.
Catch you later, boys. Take care.
Yeah. I do get the sense that Son is on the downwards trajectory for his career now. I think he's sort of starting to slow down a little bit, lose these sort of.
That'll empty the stadium. If he leaves, that'll empty the stadium.
There is quite a sizable South Korean support in the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. I'll give it that.
Imagine that.
It's like a Cesaro section in the WWE crowd. There's always just like people in that corner. But,
I thought Fuzzy was actually going to bring his picture up in the background of the Tottenham Stadium. I don't know if you've seen it, but
I don't know if I've still got that here. Have I still got that there? No, I've deleted it. It. Yeah. Unfortunately, it's not there anymore. I can't bring up the biggest toilet bowl in Northampton.
I just told his dip down. I think
I'm not giving Spurs no shit because they always beat us, so I'm not doing that.
You talk nicely. Work in reverse psychology, Yeti. If you speak nicely enough, they'll concede the game to you.
The thing is with Spurs, like against Brentford, I thought that was like a easy win. Personally, I don't think Brentford really offered a lot. I mean, I watched like the highlights of it, and I just thought it was like a easy one for Spurs. I think the one thing that Spurs need to do, and you can see it's on the cusp of actually being something, but it's not quite going there. It's like the NLD. I mean, you'd probably agree with me, El Cockerel, as well. The fact of the matter is you had all the ball. You had all the ball. And Arsenal just let you have all the ball. You never made shit. You never made anything. You never did anything or anything like that. The chances was that you could have absolutely taken that game. 100%. And there was just, and you're known for being like an attacking team under Ange Postecoglou or whatever his fucking name is. Whatever his name is. But, and I just find it really strange that, Arsenal was just there to defend and just keep their goal. And you just couldn't get through them. But then again, Man City couldn't do it either. So, there must be something there for the Arsenal defence, I suppose. But I just think you've got so much quality there that just does not show when it needs to show. It'll show against us, obviously, which is why I don't like fucking having a go at Spurs, because it always does. But, I just don't see the quality there that should be there. That's just my opinion.
Last but not least, let's get the verdicts of the chicken on the basketball supporter.
Absolutely.
Chicken on the basketball.
I'm sure.
I won't say. I won't. If you've got a picture of Tottenham Hotspur, I'm not going to send you a picture of fucking Man United Stadium. I tell you. Anyway,
Just send us a picture of the Pacific Ocean. That's
Yeah, exactly. Just send a picture of water.
Right.
You'll be fine.
My opinion on yesterday. Because that's what we're looking at yesterday's game. My opinion on yesterday is that we won differently yesterday. First 4 games, we had 66%, 66%, 70%, 71%. An overall average of 68% in the first 4 games of the Premiership that we've played. We've had more shots than our opponents. We've limited on PPDA actions. We've limited our opponents to chances. Probably the best pressing team so far. The first 4 games of the Premiership. All the stats, we're world champions on paper. But you need to put the ball in the onion bag in order to win the matches. And we haven't been doing that, hence why we only had 4 points after 4 games until we played Brentford yesterday. Now, what I like about people is, and I'm talking people in general now, is that people will turn around and say, fucking hell, Brentford, they got certain players, they got this player, they got that player, they're well structured, they got a top manager, blah, blah, blah. It's all, they're all giving out kudos of why Brentford are so good. Then you go and turn them over, and then I hear people saying, it was only Brentford, you should have beaten them anyway. But you've got to play a match. I said before the start of the season.
Yeah, agree.
I said before the start of the season, right, that for me, the Premiership's going to go like that. I've said it on this show about 3 weeks ago, or 2 weeks. I said the Premiership's going like that. There's no easy game. It doesn't matter who you're playing. There's no easy games in the Premiership.
True.
The only way the game becomes easy is if your opponent don't turn up. Then the game can become easy. Otherwise, you're going to get a tough game regardless of who you play against. It doesn't matter what team you're playing now. It's compressed. For me, the Premier League has compressed itself in the standard of the football that the team here plays. It's compressed. Now, at the end of the day, okay, so our game was against Brentford. Yesterday, we didn't have the possession in that game. We had 48% against 52. So we didn't have the possession. Yes, we had more shots on goal. Yes, we had more shots on target. Yes, we had more clean-cut chances, which is one thing we haven't been having in all the games. Although we have all the possession, all the shots and that, clear-cut chances, we haven't had the best of them. Yesterday, we did. And for the first goal, it was a bobble from the kick-off. It bounced in front of Kulusevski, bounced out wide. Lewis Potter's picked the ball up. What I've said myself on my channel yesterday, because I did the watch along, is when you play against your Coventries in the Cup, or you play your League One and League Two sides, they don't give you any respect. They're on you like that. In the Premiership, players give each other respect, and that's what we did. Lewis Potter wasn't closed down for his cross. We had 3 players approaching the ball, but they didn't close him down. He's managed to get the cross in. And Buemo took the goal absolutely brilliantly. I'm not going to take nothing away from
awesome.
It's a fantastic
His quality
goal.
is.
It was a great goal. But then what I saw yesterday for the first 35 minutes of the match yesterday is what we've been accused of, and our own fan base accused it of, is when you play against teams with low blocks, is not having a clue what you're doing. You get the ball up to the final third, and you play horseshoe football. For me, it's not horseshoe football. What it is for me is I find that our players are too static when we get to the final third. They don't move around.
Yeah.
Now, for the first 35 minutes yesterday that we got the ball, when we was in the last third, I saw our players moving around into the box, coming out the box. The players were moving. So therefore, when you're moving, you're creating space for people that are on the ball or those that are going to receive it. We did that for 35 minutes. And then for the last 10 minutes of the first half, we sort of like went away from doing that. At the start of the second half, we were away from doing that. And then I'd say probably the last 25 minutes of the second half, we did it again. I mean, there was one on my watch along. There was one time I think Sonny got the ball out on the left, and he got it. And right beside him were Udogie and Maddison. They just stood there right beside him. So Sonny's got the ball, doesn't know which way to face the player up or which way to go, because there was no out ball for him, because the players weren't moving. And I was screaming, why don't you go back to what we were doing, which was good, actually moving around? And then we did that moving around in the last 25 minutes. But, at the end of the day, for me, it's a new way of playing. It's a new way of playing for us. All right, we started embedding it last year. We've got rid of all the old brigade that we had, more or less. I still think that our squad's thin. I think we could have done with 2 to 3 more players by the end of the transfer window. But obviously, he's got the squad that he's probably happy with or wanted or whatever he's got at the moment. And that's the deck. That's the deck of cards we got, and that's what we've got to play with. Football wise, I think we're playing better football in the first 5 games of this season than we did in the first 5 games of last season, right? And we were unbeaten last season in the first 10.
Yeah,
we've already lost 2 in the first 5, but I'm happier with the football that we're playing. At the end of the day, it is what it is. Now we've got a tough game coming up next weekend. We're away to a team that's outside of the top 10. Yesterday we played Brentford, who were in the top 10, who are now no longer in the top 10. So it's just tough. Well, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, Fuzzy. We're only 10th. We're only 10th.
Yeah, you'll beat them, mate. Don't worry about it.
We're only 10th. We're only 10th on goal difference. So,
just a question to everybody, though. Everybody on the panel, right? When you get like a low, when you get like a low block. I've always said, right, and I'd be interested to know what you guys think. When you get a low block, everybody just stays outside of the block and they just keep passing it around, looking for a long shot and stuff like that. I've always said that if you get a player that tries to run through that block, that's going to make that opposition team make a decision, which could give you a penalty, could give you a free kick outside the area or whatever like that. Do you think that's like the key to sort of getting through the low block?
I think that's one of the ways you can get through a low block. One thing, and I was screaming and shouting at Man City today at the television, every time they get and parking outside the box, they don't actually. It's just walk football, left and right, left and right, left and right, left and right. Instead of having your wider players move out slightly wider, time and space on the ball, move around the outside of the player, start crossing the balls in, cut back passes, but when you cross it, don't go too aerially because your goalkeeper, like Raya, will probably collect it every day of the week. Rather than that,
but that's the problem, though, because if you go to the wingers and you go for the crosses, there's always somebody can stop it. But if you run right through the middle and you try to take the fucking defenders on, they've got to make a decision. And if they have to make a decision, they could fucking bring you down. And if they bring you down, you're going to get a penalty or you're going to get a free kick. So that, to me, is the answer to the low block.
But going through the middle, you haven't got space. The space is going to be out wider, or you can create the space and the overloads out wide. City today against Arsenal, if you watched on Manchester City's right hand side, right, you had what's his name, Walker, and then inside him was Ruben Diaz, and then it was Akanji, and then it was Guardiola. Yeah, and the people that were forward was Bernardo Silva was on the right. And what Bernardo Silva kept doing, he kept going to just inside the box. And then when the ball was being recycled, he jumped out. He didn't run out wide. He just jumped back out of the box again. But he's only moved like two yards. That's not going to affect the movement. What you need to do is you need to completely move. And that's what they were doing. Doku was getting the ball. And Doku was doing the same thing. Doku wasn't going past the play. He just kept recycling the ball and coming back. And because they weren't stretching the play out wide, they were just horseshoe football. And it's basically what teams do, because the low block teams are going to defend the way that Arsenal did. Now, Arsenal ended up drawing that game, but fucking hell did they defend to keep.
Oh mate, that was awesome.
To keep your head, because these Manchester City players, they're going to make you think all the time. It's like moving chess pieces on the board. So mentally, you've got to be at the races. And they were at the races for most of that second half. At the end of the day, they got undone at the end, but they were at the races. But then
I still think though, if you can get a player in the centre that just tries to run through it, you can possibly get something out of a low block. If you actually do that, you can get somebody who makes a rash challenge or something like that, and you can actually get something that's going to make a fucking difference. That's just my point of view.
You need that bulldozer. You need that bulldozer to run through the middle.
How many goals?
Exactly.
How many
It's
goals?
so frustrating when you're watching players when you're doing this, and it's like what Fuzzy said, shouting at the screen. But then when the players are actually attacking and they're playing the horseshoe, right, around that 18-yard box, what happens? It brings the midfielders back. Basically, so what you've got the defenders, you've got four defenders and your goalkeeper in the penalty box, in the 18-yard box, then your midfielders drifts in. So when your players are attacking, right, in all fairness, including the goalkeeper, you've got something like 8 players in the 18-yard box against, sometimes you see it against 3 or 2 players where they've been playing the horse, and you're thinking, right, well, there's 8 players in the box. How can we score? There's 3 of us against 8 players, including the goalkeeper in goal. So this is what I say. It's all this tippy tappy. It's all going around. It doesn't mean anything.
It doesn't do anything, does it? It doesn't do anything.
No,
but
that's what Spurs did against Arsenal. To be fair.
Let me ask a question of you guys, right? How many goals has Haaland got now? 10, 11?
10.
10, okay.
10.
Right. So, honestly speaking, Fuzz, if you had Haaland up front for you, you had Haaland up front for you, Anthony, you had Haaland up front for you, how many goals do you think you'd have at your clubs by now? Would you have more than 10?
A lot more. A lot more.
You would. Because I'll tell you what, do you know our top goal scorer? Our top goal scorer is Gabriel, centre back. He's got 3, and Havertz got 2.
Yeah, but the reason why I'm saying this, right, is because I feel that the way that Pep has got the Man City team playing, right, and has had playing, right, Haaland in a team that doesn't play the same way that Pep plays, in a team that will feed him the ball, I think Haaland scores loads more goals. I don't think Man City use Haaland enough.
I agree.
Today they put him in. Today they put him in only the once, and he scored that goal. He took that goal once. Other than that, when did they put Haaland in? You can see Haaland making runs all the time.
Yeah, I agree.
Feed Haaland.
Yeah, I agree.
Is the second?
You know what? One of my favourite strikers is Collymore. Yeah, and I see that in Haaland. You know, where we used to just pass him the ball and he did what he had to do up front. That's exactly what I see in Haaland.
Yeah, but he hasn't got the skill. He hasn't got all the skills and the silky stuff. Yeah, but he's just got. You put him in, he's gonna. If you feed him, he will score.
Yeah,
and that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If he played for any other team than Man City, I reckon, my personal opinion, he would have scored more than 10 by now in 5 games.
100%.
Because you would feed him, and I don't think he gets fed at Man City.
No, I agree. I agree totally.
So with the second half, the amount of times where Man City turn over a ball possession, you just see them all just move together slowly up the pitch. You're like, Haaland is jogging between your 2 centre backs. He's got the gap there.
Yeah.
Play the ball directly, because that Arsenal defence looks most susceptible and has already conceded a couple goals with the line splitting pass. They don't know what to do when the ball gets played straight through the middle with pace.
Exactly.
To run onto
yeah, completely. And that's what we used to do with Stan Collymore. We used to get the ball, chuck it over to him, and he did the rest. You know, and that's exactly what we used to do, and that's what I see in Haaland. And I agree totally with El Coquerel that if he was playing for any one of our teams and we was to make him the main point, but the thing is about Man City, they've got that much quality players, they don't want to be in the background to Haaland. You know what I mean? And I think that's what it is.
It's a team game. You want to win the game. You feed the beast, and the beast will score for you. It's as simple as that. It doesn't matter who he's playing against. You feed him, and he score goals. But they don't seem to feed him. It's all the intricate play patterns and stuff like that. And they won't pass it first time to him. They hold on to the ball. They recycle.
Yeah, I agree.
If he played for any other club that would feed him, he would score. I dread to think what he'd end up with playing for other clubs.
I'd love him. I'd love him at Forest.
He scored a lot of goals. He has scored a lot of goals. I mean, today was his 100th goal for Man City. He's only been here for a couple of years.
105 games, is it 5? Is that 100 goals in 100? something like that.
I think
105
it's
games.
Absolutely
I think it's
amazing.
around that. Yeah.
He would probably be near enough breaking Ronaldo's record if he had gone to Real Madrid 2 years ago. Because I tell you what, Vinicius, Rodrigo, all these players, they'd be setting him up. They'd be passing the ball to him. They ain't got the egos to say, we can do better than you. They'd feed him and he'd score goals. Doesn't matter where he goes. You feed him the ball, he's going to score goals. And I just think that Man City dwell and play patterns of play that Pep wants them to do, and they don't give it to him first time. They don't put him through. And
I agree.
I just
I
feel
agree.
if he was playing for a team that he would be fed, I think he'd score a lot more. If Man City fed him, do you know what? If Man City fed him properly, the league's over and done with, mate. Don't even bother chasing you, because that's all you're doing is chasing Man City. But because they don't feed him, it gives everybody else a chance.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
Speaking of, as you referenced to, with the maybe if you play for Man United, get a lot more goals, and you could probably agree with that sentiment. Man United so far this season, I think probably up there, like the top three most big chances created. And I think Palace, our game against Palace was another example of that. Just no cutting edge, get to the final third, and my God, you are missing blatant goal scoring opportunities. I mean, we hit the bar twice in that game against Palace, but bloody hell, some of the shooting. I mean, Bruno Fernandes, awful game.
Yeah.
And it's a shame because, I mean, with Xerxes, he's not necessarily somebody who's putting the ball in the back of the net at the moment, but he's setting everybody else up to do it. He could have had several assists today, or yesterday rather. He could have had several assists. Second he went off, that was it. The potency potential from Man United's attack just died off the face of the planet. And that's kind of the nature of the beast with football, is if you've got players that are not, those clinical players like Erling Haaland is, feed the right players the right chances, you're not going to score the goals, but you're going to be sat there saying, but man, we had so many chances. And literally, it was a case that Palace luckily lived to tell the tale in a game that Man United should have walked away 2-3-0 winners quite comfortably. First half, non-existent Crystal Palace. Had to make changes to get back into the game. Second half, looking more of the same. Substitutions happened and the game just got further away from Manchester United. Palace were on top closing out the game. They could have stolen it. They could have stolen the win. Just make one chance count, win the game 1-0. That's 3 points against Man United. So it's a big, big risk with Man United's case. And do you know what? As far as the result for that game goes, I wasn't mad at in terms of like what happened as far as the 0-0 goes, because I was like, on a different day, if these players are actually burying their chances, you can say, wow, we played the right way to win that game, but we just didn't convert our chances on the day. So I think defensively, quite solid, limited the amount of chances. The midfield actually dealt with a lot of what Crystal Palace had to do quite well. It's just when we lose the control of the game and lose that sense of control and dominance, that's when you start to see the weaknesses in the team and the cracks start to appear in that defensive setup. But I thought for the most part, a goalkeeper as well, Andre Onana, a couple of
that double save was fucking amazing. That was amazing. But I'll say this to you, Fuzz, right? The one thing is with Ten Hag, there's no style. There's not been no style ever since he's gone there. I think you're getting the players in, but the style ain't there. I mean, do you see that you're going to keep Ten Hag? Because I don't see it at all.
Well, I think as far as the result side of things go, there has to be winning games and not just playing sexy football. But then again, what's Ineos looking for in the manager? Because last season we were playing abysmal football, but this season it looks like the football is improving because we're going back to making lots of chances and getting into good positions, but just not taking those chances. So I think again it's a bit sort of like just throw whatever you can at it and hopefully something sticks. There's going to be like senses that that's going to feel like what the game plan, if there even is a game plan, that's what the approach is.
That's the problem, though. You don't see a game plan. You don't see a game plan with Man United. I mean, I remember watching Man United from years ago, and you could totally see what they was doing right from the start, and they did it well. And Ten Hag, to me, just there's no. I mean, it was always going to be difficult taking over from Alex Ferguson, and you've had so many managers since then, stuff like that. I think you've spent the money really well. You bought in really decent players, but there's still not really a style to Manchester United. That's just my personal point of view.
Yeah, and I suppose you cannot say that that's going to feed into a consistency question, because if it's not really a style, there's no revisited patterns. It's going to be different every game, and that's what you've got to ask the question to the manager. It's like, next game, we played Twente midweek. Are we going to expect the same thing there? And then after that, we've got Spurs. We're going to expect the same thing there. And what about the game after that? And what about the game after that? And that's the big sort of question marks I've got, especially with Ten Hag at the moment, and just with the team selections as well. Game management, I think some of the decisions he makes are sackable offences in and of themselves. It's like we can see what changes he should make to improve things, but he does the opposite, or he starts players that are just counter logical. Like, it doesn't make sense why you start him ahead of him, this other player, like Manuel Ugarte. You're looking for legs, tenacity, good defensive structure in your midfield with a bit of a range of passing to his game. Manuel Ugarte is a fantastic option. Pair him up with Kobbie Mainoo. There's two players that can do all sorts, a full range of tools, Swiss Army knives, both of them. But instead he plays Ericsson, somebody who's not high work rates going both ways. You're going to leave in a defensive turnover of possession. You're going to leave a lot of gappage in that midfield, and Kobbie's going to be exposed yet again. You need to have a bit more defensive solidarity there. But I don't think Palace really exploited that lack of tenacity in midfield, especially in the first half. But I don't know what you guys, Jose and Anthony, think about, not just in terms of this game, but perhaps the implications for Manchester United moving forwards.
I'll be back in a sec, bro.
No worries. Whether Manchester United going forwards, is there anything really for Manchester United to lead on with what they've seemingly started doing in recent games?
I struggle with Man United in the sense I'm not sure what your identity is, and I haven't known what your identity and what your style of play is or anything like that for a good 3 years now. I don't understand. I think last year you were easy. It was like a knife through hot butter last year. Everyone cut through Man United at will last year. Saw it early on, first game of the season against Wolves last season. And then it went on when we played you after that, and after that, and then after that, and after that. And it doesn't matter what mixture of players he was picking. It seemed to be really easy. And it must be frustrating to be a Man United fan, because that hasn't been the case. No, Man United were the team to beat, weren't they? But since, for the last decade or so, I think Man United have steadily gone. You've still won trophies, don't get me wrong, but you steadily declined in the way. And your aura and the way that you know what's about you. Everyone knows if you're playing Man United, you know what you're up against. And I just feel that that's gone in the last few seasons with Man U. With Man United, I think the buys that you've made in defence can only be good buys if you get them on a pitch fit, because there's a bit of there's a bit of a and ahhing about the previous fitness levels of these players when they played for other clubs. They didn't get to play even 50% of their of the games at the clubs that they were previously at for the last 4 seasons. So if you get the best out of them, then they're very good buys for Man United, I think. Certainly the boy Mazraoui and De Ligt, they were fucking top players for Ajax, weren't they? Before when Ten Hag was there, they were top players for Ajax. Got Onana was there at Ajax as well, weren't he? When when them lot were playing. So you've got players that know each other and keep them fit, and it'll be it'll be positive for Man United. Ugarte, I wanted Ugarte at Tottenham 2 years ago when I went into a Tottenham group, and I posted in there saying, if we were offered 100 million, because Klopp was fancy Sonny then, I said, look, if Klopp offers 100 million with Sonny, would you sell Sonny? I would, and if I sell Sonny now, I'd invest that 100 million, and I would go and buy Mohamed Kudus from Ajax, and I would go and buy Manuel Ugarte from Sporting Lisbon. God, the pelters I took from people. How dare you want to sell Sonny? Blah blah blah. Anyway, I rate Ugarte. I always have done. Whether Man United is the right club or not remains to be seen. Have you bought him, or is he on loan to you?
Bought him.
Oh, you've bought him. Okay, so then if you've bought him, he's got a contract already. Just hope he in place, because if you had him on loan, he's probably trying to get himself a contract. But if you've bought him, then that's fine. Ugarte can be a good player, but you've got to get the right mixture in midfield. It's like anybody. You've got to get the right mixture in midfield. The boy Xerxes, he's a decent player. He's a decent player. He's got something about him. He's a really good player. He's not an out-and-out 9, but he is a good player. But then I like Højlund. I think Højlund's a good striker. I rated Højlund last year, and I think Højlund's a good striker.
Yeah, definitely.
You throw in Garnacho, you throw in Ahmad as well, because Ahmad's a really good player as well. You give these boys chances and let the team grow, and then Man United could become a force again. But you got to get the right blend and he needs to get his selection right and the right blend, and actually stick with it, rather than keep swapping and changing and making the weird choices that you say he's making. Because not only can you see that, but us from afar who don't support Man United, we can also see that as well.
It's common knowledge with Ten Hag's game management, such as with the players he picks to start games, but also when the substitutions he makes. I think Ajax fans said it. The guy is really, really stubborn. So it's like, even though you could probably see from a mile away, hey, by the way, Eric, this isn't going to work, is still like full speed ahead with what I've decided to do. Like, but you're going to drive off a cliff. It's like, no, don't worry. Oh, don't worry, it's fine. Or brake. You'll say, well, surely if you're in a car driving towards a cliff, you just hit the brakes, right? And Eric will turn around and say, who needs brakes? I'll rip the brake pedal out the car. That's fine. Yeah. Trust the process. The car will stop. It's fine. Laws of nature, laws of physics. But Anthony, Eddie and Yetia didn't score in this game.
Eddie and Yetia.
I was thinking better than Zersky, I don't know what your team, but I'm the same as Zersky. I blow hot and cold. I was surprised that Ericsson started in the game. I thought that because you won against 7-0 against Barnsley. Barnsley. Yeah, I reckon that most probably build up some sort of hype. I believe that some of your players you played in that Palace game did feature in that Barnsley game as well. Quite a few of them, I think it was over half the team. And obviously when you're playing the likes of Barnsley. But I'm going to be honest with you, Fuzzy. That was a very poor result against a weakened side, Crystal Palace. Honestly.
Hand on heart, I can say we've improved. We're massive. We've improved. Last season, that same result was 4-0 to Palace. We've reduced the deficit by 4 goals. Turned it around.
That's it. Hey, that's one way of looking at the positives, I suppose.
I reckon they were playing. I think with Garnacho and I think they were having a game of crossbar challenge. Because Garnacho smashed it against the bar, reflected back to Bruno Fernandes, and he smashed it against the bar.
That is mental, isn't it?
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I just feel that there's something missing in that Man United team. Really, there's some. You haven't got to talk. I mean, Højlund, okay, he's not a bad player. He's a good player, but look, when he comes back into the team as well, I mean, you're just you're missing that. It's like with us. You're missing that striker that can give you 20 goals a season. You've got nobody there that can do it. And we know what that's like at Arsenal. But
that's Højlund, but he's injured, so.
Yeah, but it's like what I said. It's just I don't know. I can't make heads or tails of it because you look at Sancho. Sancho, he's gone on loan to Chelsea, and in all fairness, he hasn't been playing that bad. You know, he's been getting stuck in. He's assisted a couple of goals as well. I think has he scored a goal for Chelsea?
No.
No,
I don't think he's scored yet, but they're singing about him.
He's quite a few.
He's failed the 007 challenge for all of the Man United Twitter stan accounts out there. That was just like, oh, we're waiting for it. It's like, yeah, that went out the window real quick, didn't it?
I feel sorry for Sancho, to be honest. I mean, I always feel sorry for millionaires. I mean, fucking hell, they have such a tough life, you know.
Yeah.
But, fucking break.
Yeah. I just feel something's not right there, Fuzzy. And in all fairness, it won't surprise me a bit further down the line. Let's talk from now till Christmas. We'll most probably start hearing this on shows now, and it's like, oh, is it time for Eric Ten Hag to leave? You know, it's going to pop up again sometime sooner or later down the season.
Yeah.
But you know, I mean, you have brought in a few good players. Don't get me wrong, you have. I think he's made a difference. Who's that other? Is it Mazraoui? What's that defender's name?
Mazraoui. Yeah.
Now he looks decent. He looks decent, and he hasn't stepped a foot wrong. That guy doesn't know not how. You know, obviously he's a defender, but he defends well. I haven't seen him put a step wrong. Like, you know what I mean in the games. So with having him, I always liked Martinez.
Yeah.
You know, I've always, you know that, Fuzzy. I've always rated the centre back there at Martinez. But I
didn't. You said he was shit before, but yeah.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. That was Harry Maguire. I mean, I'm not being funny, but it's like I said. All right, we all know that Johnny. You've got your centre back there, Johnny.
He talks so much shit, doesn't he?
He's the same. Is Johnny Evans the same age as Jez Collins?
I think he is. Yeah, I think he is. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you. This defender is going to be. He's going to be amazing. This defender.
Right, but the thing is, Andy, what I was saying earlier, Mazraoui and De Ligt, right? They were both absolutely superb at Ajax, and they were youngsters, and then they got their moves. So they've moved on from Ajax for at least 4 or 5 years now. Mazraoui went to Bayern and has hardly played football at Bayern. For one reason or another, and that's why I was saying if Man United have bought players that they can keep on the right side, i.e. fit, then I think because De Ligt went to Juve first, played less than 50% game time in 2 seasons, and then got moved to Bayern and played less than 50% of games at Bayern as well. Now, at the end of the day, if you've bought 2 players, some people say you bought 2 crocs. Right, but so I say if you've bought 2 people that are on the right side and can keep them fit, then they're 2 very good players, and Man United have done well. Can I just say, instead of talking about this, can we touch on what that fucking lunatic Martinez did yesterday?
Yeah, I saw that.
He saw red, but he didn't expect there to not be a red coming out with the cards. To be
but what was he doing? What kind of what? I can't understand what kind of tackle it was. I really don't, because he was.
This is why footballers have agents, because they haven't got a brain.
I mean, that looked very much intentional. Casemiro's one, where he went challenged 50-50 for the ball, where his studs accidentally roll over the ball and catch the player, and it's like, oh, it's a 50-50, right? You can understand when the referee says, yeah, that's a foul, and he initially goes to give the yellow card, and they say, oh no, that's a red card. Well, Martinez has basically just gone, well, actually, both feet off the ground, if your foot is there, your career is over. Just so you know. It's like Ayrton Senna on a football pitch, right? If like he will just go straight through your car if you don't give him the room, and he doesn't care. He won't withhold to you. Martinez doesn't look like a sort of player that on a pitch he's going to pull out of something. He could have won that a lot more cleanly, a lot more like feet on the ground. Just go in, just swing the ball in, like swing your foot into the ball and see who gets the better of it. Leaving ground like that, I've seen drop kicks that look a lot worse by professional wrestlers in a wrestling. than a football player on a football pitch in Martinez. I mean, it's absolute madness. And I don't know.
I think he was just
nowhere near the
paying
player.
respects to Cantona. I think that's what he was doing.
Well, he was Yeti. He should have run over the other side of the touchline to do that. Just like ignore the ball, just run over into the stands and just go.
I don't know what happened. I thought I'd ask the question because I don't know what he was doing. I looked there and I thought, what is he doing? He was nowhere near the player either. He landed about 2 foot before the player. So and I think he might have just been lucky if he could scrape the ball because it's as if he didn't get the ball or the player. It's just a mad. I don't know. Do the Argentinians sometimes get brain fog or something?
Maybe. I don't know.
We got one of them in our team as well, who's Argentinian, who's his partner, and he sometimes he sometimes gets brain fog as well.
Yeah, I mean, same with Trossard kicking the ball away. Makes no sense.
But he's not Argentinian, he's Belgian. Well, to be fair, Belgian.
Well, yeah, but I mean, they're probably part of the same company. I don't know.
Oh, bloody hell. But yeah, I mean, TLDR for that game, just Man United. Try and take your chances next time. I mean, got time to rectify it. A bit of a confidence booster game midweek against 20, and hopefully do a job there and move on to be ready for Spurs because we need to get 3 points on the board in the Prem.
The thing is with Man United, and I've said this to you before, Fuzz, it's like I feel so sorry for you, like starting your channel now, because it's like in the years I have seen a Man United team that is just fucking unbeatable, and I've said this to you before, and like you all of a sudden like joined the fold at this point, obviously because you weren't born. I mean, it's not your fault. But, and it's like you look at him now and it's just like a complete shadow of what we all knew of Man United. It's crazy, man. Fucking crazy.
Yeah, crazy. How's Tony? Is Tony all good? Tony's fine. He's he saw the scoreline or he saw Nicholas Jackson.
Yeah, he's hiding. He's hiding away.
The funny thing is, though, is that he did send us that message. I think it was literally as the game was going on between West Ham and Chelsea. Literally after that first goal went in, we got the message come through. I was like, this little bastard has decided to run the cover. He's done a Richard Herbert out here. He's seen that
he ran away,
struggling, and he's tucked tail, jumped on the plane, and is jetted to somewhere else in the world. Apparently, he said where he's at, the internet's not great. I think that's just another thing to sort of drown out the trolls.
No, he's gone to a hotel, hasn't he? He's gone to a hotel. I think he's just around the corner from where he lives. He's got that nice view as he looks out his window.
Isn't he? He's in a tent in his garden. That's where he is. He's in a tent in his garden.
Yeah, Tony's fine.
He's isolated.
I tell you now, I bet he's in a tent in his garden. And I've got away, I've gone for an holiday and all this, that, and the other, and he's just in a tent in his garden.
He's painted it to look like the scenery from the Bahamas, just to get a bit of a vibe to it. But moving on to Sunday's games, starting off with Super Sunday, bit of a crazy Sunday, bit of a red Sunday. Brighton 2, Forest 2. Forest taking the lead. Brighton looking like they got back on top, and I think you said it on your watch along as well that you looked like it was going to be Nottingham Forest under the cosh for a big part. Until breakaway goal with Jota beating the offside trap and playing it into. Actually, no, I think it's the other way around. I think was it Jota that played the pass, or was it
Jota? No, the pass came from Murillo, I think, and went to Jota. And then he played it to Ramon Sosa to get the equaliser.
Yeah.
I think that Jota, he's got his hairstyle like maybe your two teams up there.
I don't give a fuck what he's got his hairstyle like. He's a fucking good player.
He's a good player.
He's a fucking good player. And the thing is, people say Jack Grealish, but the thing is, he defends a lot better than Jack Grealish. He is a quality addition to what we've got right now. And the thing is, I think the thing is with me is with Forest, I don't like us going 1-0 up. Not that early anyway, because we don't seem to be able to hold it when we go that 1-0 up that early. Against Liverpool, we went 1-0 up in the 65th, 69th minute or whatever, and it worked. But I don't like us going up that early with the one goal, And am I pissed off? No, I'm not really pissed off because we're still unbeaten. So, this is a massive season for us and we are getting it sorted. I like the lineup, what he came up with. I maybe would have gone a bit more with Yates because we did lose the midfield. So I maybe would have gone more with Yates other than Ward-Prowse, But you know what? As a Forest fan, I'm loving every minute of this because when we was in the Championship for 23 years, I sat there on cold nights when we was in the fucking League One and all this, that, and the other, and I was wishing for this time when we was in the Premier League. We're in there now, and we are taking teams on. We beat fucking Liverpool at fucking Anfield for the first time in 55 years. All the little bitches will turn around and say that Liverpool didn't really turn up. We didn't let them turn up. At the end of the day, we didn't let them. We stopped them. We stopped all their threats, and then we went on to get the goal. So yes, I am more than happy with what's going on with Forest at the minute. 2-2 draw, still unbeaten. Have it, guys. Let's have it.
Yeah. I got to be honest with you. I was watching this game earlier today as well, and if I had to pick out a game of the weekend, it most probably be this one because I thought it was a really good game. And I also said on last week's show, and I'm not saying it because Yet is here in the panel. I said Forest are not going to be a pushover this season, right? They are not.
Said it. He said it.
He spent well, in the areas of where it needs improving and that. I thought the sending off today. I thought that he was a bit stupid. It was. It wasn't. It wasn't. I thinking cheating bastards. I
okay, then please explain to me. Okay, fair enough. Yeah. I was going to go.
But do you know what? I thought it was a good game. It's going to be a miss, obviously, because it was. You got sent off. Was it Gibbs White? You got.
Yeah, Gibbs White.
That's another thing. Do you think that was justified? I mean, it was quite an aggressive tackle through the back of the player, but he did get the ball. Is that like? Do you think that's a fair indictment?
What? I'm sorry, look, guys. If you're going to go there, I'm going to go there. Yeah. What the fuck are you supposed to do if you go in for a tackle and you win the ball? What are you supposed to do with your legs? Are you supposed to cut the fuckers off when you fucking made the tackle? What the fuck are you supposed to do? At the start, the referee turned around and when he got the fucking ball, it weren't until them little bitches from fucking Brighton started fucking getting around him, which they shouldn't be doing anyway, because that was called off when players get around the fucking player, around the referee, sorry. That was called off. You shouldn't be able to do that. It should have been yellow carding the players. And then all of a sudden, the little bitch bastard who's a fucking Derby fan anyway, piece of fucking shit, sheep shagging cunt, wanker, fucking all of a sudden turns it round. So what can you do? That was not a fucking second yellow card. I'm sorry, it wasn't. What's wrong with the game? Is it dead? Is it dead?
I agree with you. I agree with you on that one, Yeti. Then it just went into like the managers, they were getting
pandemonium after that because I mean it's a justified reaction because it's like you see challenges like that all the time that referees will actually sort of give the benefit of the doubt but say either play on or they'll say, well, actually, no, that's fairly fine. Like, come on, get up, toughen up a little.
The thing is, he didn't go to VAR. So why is he saying he got the ball And then as soon as the fucking Brighton players get round him and throw unicorns at him and shit, then he changes his stance. What is that all about?
Yeah.
That's refereeing inconsistencies again. And it's
In
always
all
come
fairness, yeah, let's be honest. The referees, the English referees in the English Premier League, yeah, are at a lower standard. You wouldn't see any of this going on in European football, like around the country and all that. We covered it. We said this all along, and I totally agree with it. I think. I mean, you look at that one. We drew 1-1 with Brighton with that Declan Rice sending off. That referee wasn't going to send off Declan Rice. It was only because Danny Welbeck walked up to him and said, "Ref, that's a sending off."
It was a sending off, though. It was a second
and
yellow.
Trossard was similar when he went into the back, and then he kicked the ball. But in all fairness, I'll be honest with you,
Trossard should have got sent off for actually fucking doing a WWE fucking barge on the guy. To be fair,
it was two incidents. It was the barge and him kicking the ball. Now, if you compare Trossard to Declan Rice, personally, I thought Trossard was miles worse.
Yeah, but we're talking about Forest and Brighton. What are you talking about?
No. I'm just saying. I'm just saying because that was like the sort of same, the same barge and that, and with the tackle. But what I'm saying is, in all fairness, I don't think you should have had a send off. You know me, I was joking. We was doing the watch along, and I
know.
It's like that fight now, but no, it wasn't. But then it just went it all went peaked on from there because players was getting booked. Then the managers, they were both sent off, weren't they? They were sent off.
Everyone was gay. It was like Oprah Winfrey. You can have a card. You can have a card. Oh, you can have a card. Everybody can have a card. It was just fucking ridiculous. It was absolutely ridiculous. The referee already said that he got the ball. So why he changes his mind when people get round him and stuff like that, I have no idea. To me, it's nowhere near a second red. I mean, I don't know what you guys think. Go for it. Just say what you think. I'll disagree with it, but go for it.
Right. So for me, for me, under the letter of the law, he left the ground. Right. It was a scissor motion that he made. He may have won the ball. It was a scissor motion that he made, and that's why he got the yellow card. Because of the motion.
I can understand the scissor motion.
He may have got the ball, but it's the motion. Because it was a scissor motion, that's why he's got given the yellow. I'm not going to say that he didn't win the ball. It's just that he left the ground. It was a scissor motion. That's the reason why he got the yellow. Now,
see, I've only ever seen scissoring on Pornhub, to be honest. But yeah, fair enough.
And then talking about Forest, they've gone and got a point at one of the hardest places to go and get a point at.
And we scored against them, which you'd never scored in that ground either. So,
informed team. So Forest have done well to get a point there. But what I'll also say as well with Forest is that this is Forest's third season now in the Premiership. They survived the first season. They did it again last year, and as they've been doing it, they've been building. And now, when you look at their team from 1 to 11, their starting 11. Forest have got a decent starting 11. They haven't got a relegation 11. They've got a decent starting 11.
No.
You've got
a good squad as well.
Yeah, you've got the boy up front who knows his way around, that Chris Wood. Although you've got Taiwo Awoniyi, who he's been kept out of the side because he had injuries last year or whatever. He's still not made it back into the team. Then you've the three that play behind him. You've got Alanga, Hudson-Odoi, Morgans, Gibbs-Whites. In the midfield, you've got decent midfielders in the centre. Although is Sangari still at the club?
He's out for 2 months.
Okay,
which Sangari to me is a good thing. To be honest,
Sangari was one of these players like Ugarte, very much hyped up as a defensive six in Europe. Sangari, if he comes back to form and back from injury and comes back to form, Sangari can be a monster for you in the midfield. Dominguez didn't play today, but he's a good player as well. And then you look at your defence. You've got Murillo, who's a lot of people are looking at. You've got Milenkovic there as well. You've bought the boy.
Murillo is quality, mate. Quality.
You've bought Aina from Chelsea, and you've got the boy from Liverpool, Nico Williams. So you go right through the side, And Forest have done it where they survived the first season back in the Prem, built it on it last season, and they're building on it again this season. So I've got no qualms that Forest will do well. Forest will be in the Premiership at the end of this season. They'll do well. Brighton, another team that have bought a lot of players. They've invested heavily, over 200 mil, bought a hell of a lot of
Both
players.
still unbeaten as well.
Yeah, Wiffa got his first minutes today off the bench. Minte has started playing for themselves. Yeah, they've got all these players, and they've got the young manager there as well. And I live close. Well, the nearest Premiership team to where I live is Brighton, and so I know a load of Brighton supporters, and I play football with a load of them, and they are absolutely waxing lyrical about their manager, about the business that they've done, and
he seems like a good guy, to be honest. The manager seems like a really good fucking manager.
They enjoy going to watch Brighton play. So at the end of the day, who did the points suit more today? Quite clearly, Nottingham Forest. Forest have come away with a point,
100%.
So but like he says, at the end of the day, Brighton and Forest are both unbeaten. And yeah, Anthony, you're right. Probably was the game of the weekend. It was a very, very good game to watch.
Yeah.
One thing I'll say, just one more thing that I'll say as well, is I'm getting a little bit fucking pissed off of not getting our respect. Like you've just gave us our respect. Fair play to you. But a lot of teams, when they're playing us, it's like, oh, it's only for us. This is 3 points and this, that, and the other. And I will just say, and I'm going to make this a major thing as well, is if you don't give us our respect, we will take it. And we will take it. And it is coming. So believe that.
Well, yeah, you think of it. I mean, it's only Man City, Arsenal, and it's like what you said, Nottingham Forest. I believe that's the only 3 teams that have lost a game this season.
And Brighton, isn't it? Brighton as well.
Brighton as well. Yeah.
Oh, Brighton, yeah. Sorry, so yes, that's 4 teams now.
Brighton, City, Arsenal, all of them.
Brighton's going to be doing wonders this season as well. As well as you get, Forest. I take my hat off, or I give credit where credit is due. And I've got to give it to Brighton. I've also got to give it to Forest this season as well.
Yeah.
I'm not.
I just want our respect, mate. I want our respect. And that's what I'm going to fucking fight for.
Well, I suppose that's the thing, isn't it? That Nottingham Forest are the sort of team. If you sleep on them, they'll take your points off of you.
You would have got 100% respect from me if you would have signed Eddie Nketiah.
You would have done the Terry Flowers.
That would have been hilarious, wouldn't it? Really,
it would have been, yeah.
And yet,
Excellent stuff. I mean, it's not the only 2-2 game for Sunday though. I'm sure the game that's still on plenty of people's minds for more than one reason. Man City 2, Arsenal 2, and man, it's not what I think it turned out to be. What anybody was really expecting it to turn out to be, because I think people had concerns about Arsenal. No Odegaards, a lack of creativity from midfield, strike force, not really converting any chances, you're sort of reliant on set pieces, and a Manchester City who, going into this game unbeaten, and that's their first result that isn't a win. They've drawn it's the first draw. They've won every other game in the Premier League so far, and scored the most amount of goals. So you would have immediately assumed, well, it's got to be more of the same, right? Arsenal really, really struggled, but it looked more like it was a beatable game, or a beatable game for Man City when Arsenal had 11 players on the pitch. Arsenal, credit to them, the goals that they scored were moments of genuine brilliance. Like Calafiori, absolutely ridiculous strike. The guy was celebrating before it went in. And the second goal, set pieces, Gabriel, that guy is probably going to end up being in the featured team of the year for best performing centre back out of anybody else in the Premier League at the rate that he's going. Sure, it's only just started the season, but if he keeps it up, then why not? He's going to win plenty of points for Arsenal this season. It's just, I suppose, the turning point on how the game was going, with Trossard getting that second yellow card and ultimately, screwing the pooch for the if there was a game plan for Arsenal, throwing 2 banks of 4 to the back, or technically, I think at some points it was a back 6 with a 3 sat right in front of it, and nobody really taking the ball that far before things turning around. But moral of the story is, if Arsenal defend this season and Raya plays rush goalkeeper with a packed box of his own players collecting anything that's aerial, that's a hard defence to break down. A very, very hard defence to break down. And credit where credit is due. Arsenal probably producing some of the best defensive football out of anybody.
Probably the best defence in the league, to be honest.
It is, yeah. It is the best defence.
When it is tasked
100%.
to do the job for defending, they're cutting out most of what anybody.
And they all did it as well. They all did it. They all played towards that.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
The only thing with that game, Fuzzy, was it was a mistake by Cauliflower, right? On the left, going forward, and then obviously that was how Haaland got his goal. So obviously it was stupid defending. You can't say any more than that. It was stupid defending for Haaland to get his goal, right? And then obviously he redeemed himself by scoring that goal. Obviously, to make it 1-1. The thing that I liked about it was when Gabriel scored his goal, is you see what Carl Walker was doing to him, giving it this and this all on the chat, and he was there, and Gabriel was like, he was giving it back, and then he stopped, and then when Saka took the corner, it was like, well, look, you carry on, I've got this, and it was like that, ran in and scored the header. Now, I'm not being funny. Gabriel had Walker in his pocket, even though Walker was trying to frustrate him.
He had Doku in his pocket as well, literally the corner before that. He did the same thing.
Yeah, and do you know what? Gabriel, to me, this guy is absolutely quality, the centre back. He both are. Gabriel and Saliba, the pairing.
Both of them are just class.
But we've offered Gabriel now contracts because guess what? Real Madrid has come sniffing around Saliba again. They've put £100 million bidding for him. So, and it could. I don't personally want him to go, but is Arsenal going to turn that money down? 100 million for a defender.
I thought Gabriel was a bigger player today than Saliba. Personally,
he was. Yeah. But I mean, Trossard, what he did was stupid. But it brought out the other players. Do you know what I mean, for the defending? And I mean, I didn't get it why he took that. It was on my mind. I was thinking, why is he taking Saka off and bringing on Ben White? But obviously he put the 5 at the back and the 4 in midfield, with nothing up front. And I was frustrated because personally, my belief, if I was the manager, in my way, what I would have done with Trossard would have came off. I would have put Havertz, brought him back, deeper, and let Martinelli and Saka do the runs with Havertz coming deep up into the box. That was the only chances that I thought we could have had by getting, some sort of an attack going, if you know what I mean, when you're down to 10 men. But
Anthony plays Football Manager on a mobile phone, so I mean, you can kind of understand that.
But I've won every single trophy on Football Manager 24. I'm pet.
On a mobile phone. On a mobile phone.
No. It's actually on. I've got it on now on my computer.
You've actually got it on your PC, have you?
I've got it on my PC.
Okay.
And I've won it. So I don't bother with this now. This mobile phone I'm on now is meant for streams and streams only. All right. And thanks for that. Yeah.
So you're like the management guru now, then, because you can beat Football Manager. Okay, bro.
But that was what I thought. I was totally against it, but listen, I think it sort of paid off. I think towards the end, Obviously, Man City's going to cause damage. It's like what I said. They've got a team A, a team B, and a team C. And I think what was a part of it was before the goal. If you notice, Timber was sat down. So obviously that added on extra time because the whistle blew bang on the 100th minute, which should have been on the 97th minute. It went over the 97th minute. But look, I think I called it in my predictions. I called it 1-1. We drew 2-2. It was a draw. We didn't lose. That was the main thing. And the other thing as well, it makes you think now if we can defend like that against Man City, it makes you feel like we could defend against any other
It's
team.
massive,
So,
massive.
So to a certain extent, I'm going to ask the question: is if that was the case, if Arsenal was put like a slight dent in Man City, would other teams pick up on what we've done in today's game, right? And could other teams put a dent?
I think that created a
inspiring
blueprint. I think that created a blueprint.
I think it's with Arsenal.
It doesn't create a blueprint if Man City moved the ball quicker than what they were doing and find more space.
True.
Because obviously they've got a 2-2 draw today. Pep's going to go back and analyse the game, and he's going to turn around. Well, he's a far better man than I. But if I was Pep, I'd be turning around and saying, "Look, what we did is we didn't pass the ball quickly enough. We didn't go out wide quickly enough. We didn't overlap." Because the horseshoe, it was just that, and they didn't penetrate, they didn't do anything, and it's something for them to work on. If they then work on that, then the blueprint goes out the window. This is a one-off. Arsenal got the blueprint today, but if Man City are worth their salt, they'll work on this, and they won't let that happen again. So therefore, the blueprint was for today only, and it goes out the window.
Yeah, but I mean, blueprints are blueprints. I mean, and blueprints are like what you did against Arsenal in the NLD. There was a blueprint worked out there. Whereas if you just keep Tottenham outside your fucking box, then you're going to fucking beat them. And it's exactly the same with Man City today. It just worked like that because they have got some quality players, that should have been able to undo Arsenal. But it just shows that low block kind of thing where everybody comes back is just a very difficult situation. And I think the only way you actually break through it is if you actually get somebody who's going to run through it and make a decision that they're going to regret. And that's the only way you break that fucking blueprint of a low block. I know about low block. We've been playing it for years.
It's difficult.
So I know what it is.
Arsenal didn't play a 5-4. Arsenal played a 6-3. They played 6 at the back and 3 just in front. It wasn't a 5-4 formation. They played a 6-3 formation. But I get what you guys are saying. I just want to say what I'm going to say about the game is you've seen Arsenal for the last 2 years, right? Get close. And I think what Arteta's done, and I think it's fucking. If people can't see this, then you must be blind, right? Arteta has made them nasty. He's made them dog nasty, and all this stuff. The two sending offs they've had have been deserved, right? Against us, sorry, against who did have, Rice's sending off was against Brighton was deserved. Right? They Raya against us. When we were on top, Raya went down against us at North London Derby. And then I remember all the players going to the sideline and Arteta then arranging the players and telling them what to do. Raya did it again today, went down. Because if you go down, you take the edge off the game. But the goalkeeper going,
you slow it down.
The goalkeeper going down means that the trainer's going to come up with the goalkeeper. All the players want a touchline. They did that again today, right? So you can see the dark
slow the game down.
Arsenal have got close twice in the last 2 seasons, but he's now introduced the dark arts to Arsenal. Arsenal try to slow the game down so many times today it's beyond belief.
Of course they do. Yeah.
At the end of the day, if it's going against you, right, then you're annoyed about it. If it's going with you, then it's brilliant.
Exactly.
It's brilliant in game management, isn't it? So
You're okay with it. If it's going for you, you're okay with it. If it's not going with you, then you're annoyed about it. It's simple as that, isn't it?
He has done it. He's brought in the dark arts to them now as well. So yeah.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Yeah.
And I don't think
agree with this
any
comment.
team or any fan would have an issue with that if it was your team.
Yeah, he was 116 charges now because he booted that share, didn't he? So that's
it's
damage to
criminal
property.
damage.
Yeah. So
Got to pay for that.
but yeah,
Expensive seats.
listen, we go on about Declan
Is-
Rice and what Trossard did
Fucking not
today.
going to happen, man.
Did you see that Man City player? He kicked the ball, wasn't
It's
but the Arsenal are learning about the dark arts. Man City have been completing the dark arts for the last 15 years. That's
Yeah,
why
exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's why
They're the reason that Newcastle can't get where they want to get and spend all the money. Man City's the reason.
If I try and do it the same way, everyone's watching them like a hawk.
Yeah,
They'll
exactly.
micro criticize everything.
They're the reason that that's happening, but everybody else is getting caught by it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, look at us. I mean, we're fucking 50 million out of the fucking thing. How many fucking million are they out of the fucking thing? Give me a fucking break.
Well, let's quickly go through some of the start comments that we've had throughout the show, just as a sort of a wrap up for this show. Loppy's on borrowed time already. It's a shambles. Do we agree with that? Lopetegui, borrowed time? Yeah. It's got to turn it
Looks
around.
like he's looking that way.
If they've bought, I don't know, what did he get? A 5-year contract at West Ham?
I have no idea how long it's.
So if they've given him a contract, right?
I think he got pay as you go.
Yeah. Well, if they've given him a contract, whatever contract they've given it for, is because there's a plan at the club. They want to do a certain thing with a roadmap. They've got timelines to it, and if they've brought him in to do it, and he's the right man to do it, then you've got to give him time. I think 5 games is too early to press the button, and I know it has been pressed before by other clubs previously, but I think that, like I said earlier on, Lopetegui's Marmite, either you're going to like what he does or you're not going to like what he does. And at the end of the day, I'd say that you've got to give him a bit more time. I wouldn't be sacking him after 5 games. But again, you be careful what you wish for.
It's the way it works now, though, isn't it? It's the way it works.
I remember some West Ham fans, not a lot of them, but some West Ham fans wanted Moyes out. Quite a few of the West Ham people I've spoken to, they were, Moyes, they said Moyes was a bit of a dinosaur in what he did and stuff like that. But whatever Moyes did was effective at the club. And, Moyes was then sort of more or less hounded out by the club, not by the support. I'm not going to say the supporters, but by the club. You've now brought in another manager. What are you going to do? The same thing with him now as well? At the end of the day, sometimes you've got to be careful what you wish for.
I think depends on what the actual project is as well. It differs between the clubs and clear
Trust
idea
the
of
project.
Trust the process. Yeah. See, Anthony, it's just got to give it a little bit of time. Let Arteta get to 2027. I'm sure he'll be an extra point.
Yeah, but the thing is, Fuzzy, it's changing. It's changing. It's not trust the process anymore. It's just a project. And then it'd be trust the fucking pro-mental twat fucking thing or whatever. It just goes on to different things.
I don't know what the process is, so unless somebody tells me, enlighten me, or can actually produce me the process in front of me so I can see it,
I don't know what it is, mate.
There you go. I can't see it. I don't know what the process is.
Trust the alcohol. That can never fail you.
That definitely.
Guaranteed results every time. Michael Chelsea says, Jez and Anthony, your club has officially gone. The Arsenal you remember isn't coming back, guys. The new Gen fans have ruined your club. What's your thoughts on
you Gen Z fans? You Gen Z fans, you ain't getting your way.
Do you genuinely think that the newer era of fans or new age fans coming into the game, their perceptions on football are
fucking idiots?
Drastically different.
They're idiots. They're idiots.
Haven't got a clue at all. Everybody's entitled to opinion and all this and that. I agree with, but then
unless you're an idiot,
it's like me. It's like me saying to someone that supported Arsenal longer than me, like Jez, for instance, saying, "Oh, you don't have a clue, this, that, and the other." Is rubbish. It is absolutely. How can you tell a person that supported Arsenal for a long time, and you get like a little?
They're already deluded. So what can you tell them?
18 years of age, that tells them, "Oh, this is what Arsenal is." No, it's not. It has a generation.
It's ridiculous.
The generation has changed, and what it is, they listen to this other dopey channel that they watches, right?
Trust the process, Anthony.
Yeah, trust the process. Yeah, and I don't get it because they turn around and say, "Yeah, but Mikel Arteta, he's improved us. Look at this." All right, yeah, I get that, and I get that. Last season we have more points than this season before. But it is though. You worked this one out, right? When he came in charge, he won the FA Cup. Now that football team, because he wasn't backed, by the way, that was 20% Unai Emery's team and 80% Arsene Wenger's team, right?
Yeah.
He won a trophy with that. Got rid of those players, right? Yeah. He is now from then till now, he has spent a combined 850 billion on his own team. He hasn't won nothing with his own team. He hasn't. And this is what I keep saying to the younger generation. What's he won? He's had this money to spend. What's he won? I tell you something now. Like, who's his team? Tottenham. If the manager come in and spent 850 million in 5 years, right, and hasn't won anything under his own team, right, yeah, would he still be in charge, or would Levy just turn around and say, "Like, you haven't won us nothing. I've given you all this money. You can go."
We don't get that luxury because we don't get managers staying with us for 5 years because they get fucking sacked well before then. So we don't get that luxury, I'm afraid.
I know, but he's been backed, and people keeps on about the Cronkies, but it's the Cronkies that's giving him the money. Obviously, he's entitled to it because that's what we've won. That's what we spent all over the season. When you add that money up, 850 million, he hasn't won anything. And this is what frustrates me with fans. Seriously, work it out. It winds me up. I'm not Arteta's biggest fan, and I think this contract that he's signed now, it's come too soon, because he's on the same wages as Pep. He's on 12.5 million a year in wages. And what's Pep won? Pep spent less money, and what's Pep won? He's won them everything. He's won everything. He's won Man City.
He's made history. He's made Premier League history, and it
makes you think now. In this transfer window just gone, Birmingham City, Birmingham has actually spent more money than Man City in this window just gone.
So Destiny 5 says time wasting shithousery cost Arsenal in the end. I think it's definitely something that came back to bite them in time and management.
Yeah, so I'd agree with that.
I'd say there
are. I'd agree with that.
I mean, it was with Timber. When he was sat there, it was that time. But trouble is, though, that time that he was sat down for got added on to the 7 minutes. It was obvious it was going to happen. And Man City, as we all know,
I get why they was doing it, but it did actually cost you in the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, they said that they were going to add from the 97. They were going to add at least 2 more minutes. They'd been told from whoever, Stockley Park, whoever. They'd been told the TV team had been told they were adding a further at least 2 minutes. So it should come at no surprise that when they went beyond the 97.
It's amazing how many times that players, teams do that, and then it costs them in the end. You know, it's crazy, really, but it is just what they do. So,
that first Arsenal goal was not fair. You can't give a foul, but allow it to be taken 15 yards ahead. It's an interesting point. I think people are looking at it like, oh, Kyle Walker wasn't back in position. I don't really care about that. I mean, Kyle Walker should be sprinting to get back into position anyway because it's a free kick.
Of course, he should.
You should be ready in position.
Yeah.
But it's interesting. We're on like watching the where it was highlighted.
What a fucking goal, though! What a fucking goal! That was one hell of a fucking shot.
Yeah, it was.
I was looking at where they circled on the pitch where the foul had taken place, is where the referee basically was standing. The ball was just like somebody just walked off with the ball and basically put it down about 15 yards away, thereabouts 10, 15 yards away, and basically resumed play from there. But the referee was just like, yeah, fine, carry on. Is that, do you pay any attention to that, or do you guys not think that's really anything all that
the thing is, you can argue about decisions left, right, and centre, but they get made, and you've just got to go on with it. You know, it's like I was saying earlier on my watch along. You know, back in the day when I was like going to Forest games in the Championship or whatever, we'd go into the pub, we'd discuss one referee decision, and then we'd discuss how every player had like done in the game and stuff like that. And I think nowadays that's being lost. We're all just going on about decisions and stuff like that, and instead of actually the quality that's actually in the games. And the main thing that you need to be talking about is that goal from Calafiori was fucking awesome. It was fucking awesome. And we don't go on about the quality of the players anymore. We just go on about what the referee decisions are. And I think that's a major fucking shame.
I'll go back to it again, right? It's in-game management, right? Arsenal took the free kick. It went and they scored the goal. If it goes for you, it's brilliant in-game management. If it goes against you, you're going to be fucking pissed off because you switched off. Simple as. At the end of the day, it's another one of these things that I'm saying about Arsenal. Arsenal are learning the fucking dark arts. And, and they are.
I've been saying that for years.
Whether people say it or not, Arsenal have come close twice, and to get them over the line, there's a different way they've got to do it. Nicey ain't going to get you there. So it's a different way. They've introduced the dark arts. And like I said, if it goes in your favour...
But Tottenham have some dark arts as well. Let's not fucking get stressed in it's just Arsenal. I mean, Tottenham's got some dark arts. Man City's got some dark arts. Man United's got some dark arts. Everybody's got some dark arts. So let's not just put it on one team.
Some people have been to Hogwarts and some ain't. Some teams have been more.
Look, we did it. We did it against Liverpool when we was 1-0 up. And it was coming to the end of the game. We did some dark arts. So I'm not going to turn around and say that it's one team or another. We all do it because you get away with it. And that's the problem, that you get away with it. That's where the issue is, that you get away with it. Because if they actually close down on the rules and they actually close down on it, then you won't get away with it. So nobody would do it. So we all do it.
Lopetegui will be sacked by December. Anton mentioned the other day that Moyes would be back at West Ham. West Ham going back in for Moyes.
That'd be Moyes going back at West Ham.
I can see. I swear I didn't see Moyes. I think Moyes are going back to Everton, like to help Everton, because he did a fantastic job at Everton. And the only manager that can motivate them is them. I always call.
That's the
big up Endon.
Big up Endon Gunner, by the way. Yeah, I think I've been saying all along. I've been saying Potter for the West Ham job.
I think you're spot on with that. I think that would be a really good appointment.
Yeah.
So I think you've got to get a manager that knows how to sort of progress players and
Potter's not really taking on anything, is he? He's not really doing anything. He's like, oh yeah, I got sacked. I'll just sit here and smoke my fucking joints and just not care about anything.
Do you reckon
I don't know what he's doing.
Is more sort of either enjoying his time away from football for the meanwhile before he jumps back in, or do you reckon he's sort of keeping his calendar clear in case England come knocking?
I think he's sitting there with a big fucking joint and just going, who cares? Who cares? I don't fucking
Feet
care.
up on the couch, Snoop Dogg.
That was Cooper for you when he got sacked. That was Cooper. He looks a joint, and he Cooper.
Has Cooper been sacked? Has he been sacked, has he?
I
Wait, who's
found
the
out
manager
yesterday.
of Nottingham
It was
Forest?
unbelievable.
It's good we've been sacked. What are you on about?
Yeah.
Oh, Ravi Bukari says, first question, was there anything different that United could have done to win the game versus Palace?
Score a fucking goal more than them.
Score a fucking goal. Yeah.
Score a goal. Score a goal.
Yeah, 100%.
Bruno Fernandes learn how to shoot. Garnacho, keep your shot down. As simple as that, really.
Buzz, what do you think about Garnacho keep coming on as a sub? Because I actually think he's like one of your major big threats.
I'm sort of rating Garnacho to start on the pitch ahead of Rashford just because he offers more variation as a winger than Rashford does. And I mean, the fact that Rashford was dropped for today, he didn't start him. And so that's a big question mark. Like, what happened there? Why was Rashford dropped? He was a goal scorer twice over midweek. So what's happened there? Has there been a falling out between player and manager again? Or has something happened where there's a bit of a rift? But Garnacho, for me, I feel like just offers more link up for the team. Rashford, you're sort of playing it to him to be the finisher. He's like the final piece in the move. Garnacho's pick it up. He's the second to last. So he can either finish or he can opt to position himself to play the cross, the pass, cut back, whatever, or just to try and take on a man to open up space. He's more likely to do that on the pitch rather than a Rashford where he looks for the shot, he looks for the goal. So he'll try to take a man on. I think sometimes he just completely overdoes it and just kills whatever is good going for you on the pitch.
Yeah.
But then there's also, like, I get it, he's probably a better striker of the ball than Garnacho is. But how many times a season per game is Rashford going to get the clear-cut chances to be putting the ball in the back of the net? Is he going to be creating that amount? With Garnacho, there's probably going to be or one or two more extra chances created that are quite big chances. So it's just like you sort of weigh that up, and I think usually people sort of.
I just think he gives you more of like a goal threat. Personally, I just watching him. Yeah. He seems to give you more like of a goal threat. I mean, I like Højlund. I like Højlund a lot, to be fair. I think Højlund could be basically your point back in, apart from the fact that he keeps getting injured all the time, which is not a good thing. And he's got the back situation, which is definitely not a good thing. But I mean, I want to see you start building up, man.
Yeah, I think if Man United had a younger player, like as in a Christian Eriksen, because in all fairness, let's be honest, and I think I think he might relate to this one as well. What I'm going to say this comment when Eriksen was at Tottenham, right? He was supplying non-stop. He was supplying Harry Kane with goals. That was what Harry Kane's main supplier was, Christian Eriksen, right? So I was thinking now, if you had someone like a player like Eriksen, but like a younger player that was behind Højlund, I think he can get you more goals. It was like what Jose was saying with Haaland. Yeah, if he was at if you were feeding him constantly, he would score. And I personally think if Højlund had that, I think he'd be a good, decent goal scorer for Man United as well.
Yeah.
Eriksen's game's changed from when he was at Tottenham. He's got old. His game's evolved and changed. So the Eriksen that we had at Tottenham is not the Eriksen that you got at Man United. Both for club and country, his game's evolved. He's dropped deeper, and he's done a lot of other things. He's not the same player. He's not the player that we bought all them years ago, and that played for us. I mean, he's changed. His football has changed completely because he does different things. Age has caught up with him as well. He does different things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I just ask a question to El Cockerel? Right. How annoying is it that you've not ever won fuck all?
You what? I've watched us win loads of things. I've watched us win loads of things.
You've not actually You never actually fucking win anything, do you?
Have we not? In my lifetime, we've won quite a fair few things, mate.
But you don't. But you don't do anything, do you? I mean, there's no like things in the trophy cabinet or anything like that.
In my lifetime of being a supporter, we've had trophies in the cabinet. So what you're saying, we may not have won something for a few years now, but in my time supporting the club, we've won lots. I'm a lot
in Europe and stuff like that.
Yeah, in '84 we won in Europe. I saw that. I'm a lot older than what you think, pal. I've seen us win a fair few.
I'm not saying how old you are. I don't know how old you are. I'm just asking.
To ask the question, I've seen us win quite a bit. I've seen us win quite a bit.
It's a shame you don't.
Okay, mate. Question answered.
Tripvic says, I'm disgusted by Pep costing Manchester City an easy win. Do you guys agree with that?
No.
Do you think Pep's not taking the initiative?
Not really. I mean, I think he got a bit annoyed when he started kicking chairs and stuff like that. But yeah.
Well, Chelsea, so Michael Oliver was absolutely shocking.
Thanks,
that was a blatant foul on Edison by Martinelli. If that was a goal, therefore, I might as well give it for everything. It was a disgrace. Again, that's just another comment about inconsistencies with officiating. I think it's a bridge too far with the dream with refereeing being consistent for teams week in week out. It's going to change, and VAR's not really come in to make the job any easier for referees.
Nah.
It's just it's just smoke and mirrors now. Arsenal are basically slightly better Stoke City. Bit harsh, but do you know what? That's the funny thing about that is when Arteta played with the Unai Emery / Wenger team, he played with the back 3 / back 5. He played more defensive, contain and hit on the break. If Arsenal are doing a little bit of that, maybe they've actually got something in the bag to win a cup because they will actually contain threats. They'll probably try and grind out more results. I think they should predominantly still approach games, trying to use the attacking flair. But if they've got the option to really just shut the game down and create that low block that's impenetrable, then there's trophies to be won using that approach. Definitely trophies to be won. But I think we've just it's going to go back around to Mikel Arteta's got to improvise and actually use that as a level to his game plan or a plan B.
He's got to win something, Buzz. He's got to win something. And if he didn't win anything, I'm sorry, but it's like I said, this 3-year contract is been offered to him too soon. I would have offered it at the end of the season. If Mikel Arteta would have won the Premier League at the end of the season, then the Cronkies or Edu could have turned around and said, "Right, there you go. There's your 3-year contract. There's your wages, there's your salary. Sign the dotted line." And do you know what? Because I'm not Mikel Arteta's biggest fan, and I'm not. But if he would have done that, I would have put my hands up on a show and I would have said, "Mate, you done it." Seriously, I give credit where credit's due, right? And I would have been the first one to put my hands up. And I've no doubt I would have got roasted on the show, which is fair enough, which is fine. But I just think offering Mikel Arteta this contract now is too early. It's for him. It's him trying to deliver, because in November he's been at the club then for 5 years, and the money that he spent, I've touched on it in the show. I've touched on so many shows as well. Yeah, he's got to deliver this season because I can't.
To be quite honest with you, I mean, I've had issues with Arteta, and I've said things about Arteta, but he just seemed to be learning. To be fair, he does actually seem to be learning by his mistakes and seeing. I mean, I've seen a few games like back in the day, your game against City today. back in the day, you would have still gone for it on. You would have still kept to your game plan, plan B, plan A on Man City, even if you'd have gone down to 10 men. And I'll give him respect because I do think he is actually learning. I mean, don't get me wrong. If you keep fucking smacking someone in the face, they're going to learn eventually, you know.
Mm.
But I do think he's actually learning. But at the same point, with the window, I think you should have done a hell of a lot more because to me, you're weaker than what you was before. And I can understand that because last season you had you didn't really have many injuries last season, but this season you're getting hit. You all getting hit like Newcastle got last season. Yeah. And you know, that's a fucking major thing. And I think you should have really fucking strengthened. If you want to take on City, you've got to get that depth. You've got to get that fucking depth. That's the only way you're going to do it.
Mm. Yeah, true.
Well, Mama Flossie is saying there's trouble behind the scenes and some unrest. We're not in a good place.
I was going to say you've got to break 119 charges in order to get there, Arsenal.
Before anyone answers that, I just want to say night, Mama, because she's put in the chat. She's gone now, Mama Flossie. So
yeah, I've thanked her.
Yeah, big up Mum Flossie. Love her.
Yes, Mama
Big
Flossie.
time.
But yeah, do you reckon Newcastle are in a position of bother, or do you think?
I'm worried. I'm worried about Newcastle. To be honest,
Mm.
I am worried about them.
Yeah.
If their own supporters like Mama are saying that there's things going on behind the scene at Newcastle, and they support the club, and that's what they're saying, there's things going on behind the scenes. Well, then, you know, they're going to know more about the club than what we are, aren't they? So,
Yeah. Yeah.
So I have,
100%.
I have to respect what the Newcastle supporters say.
Yeah.
Newcastle should stick by Eddie after what he did for them a fair few seasons ago, taking over from Bruce. I question if Eddie will stick by Newcastle. The man should be the next England manager. Coming from a Bournemouth fan, of course, previously managed by Eddie Howe. Do you reckon if things get tough, Eddie's going to stick around, or do you think he will jump ship if the phone call comes in?
I think
I wouldn't blame him if he did, to be honest, because he didn't get backed. He didn't get backed, and the way I look at it is this. I mean, you can't target a manager if you don't back him. If you don't back him, then it's not his fault, is it? You know? No. So I think you have to sort of look at it like that.
Yeah. A question for, are Newcastle good enough to be consistent like they have been previously? I think you've covered that already, Jose, with the probability that Newcastle probably the squad is sort of hitting its actual level. Because to be fair, where Eddie Howe took over, a lot of their vibes and stuff.
They're good. Yeah, they're going to get left by the wayside if they're not careful. You know.
Yeah, I think their squad, look at some of their players, have been around since Newcastle were sort of bottom half of the table team, like quality wise, and they've only got like a couple of players in there that are proper top notch. And it's like a squad like that needs more balance in talent, like spread across the team a bit. They're still trying to rely on fundamentally championship-esque or lower grade Premier League quality players to try and sort of push through results or keep playing sort of higher level. But perhaps we're seeing performance-wise this season that some of those players are just showing that they are not good enough to up the demand on the Newcastle side, that they want to progress as a club. They want to get better than they were last season, and that's probably not going to be possible with some of the players they've got.
As I said, it all comes down to the restrictions put upon them upon every club through the financial fair plays and all that's been put in there. However, as I said before, I don't think that they have They've got great support in Newcastle. They're a fantastic fan base. But I just don't think that they've got the revenues coming in to compete with some of the other teams. And that's where I see them struggling. Unless things have changed, or unless things dramatically change and they get new revenue streams in, then there are teams that are so-called smaller in stature, the Newcastle, that can afford more than them because the revenue streams are far greater, and they obviously don't spend. They probably haven't got the wage bill either that Newcastle have got. Newcastle probably pay top wages for some of their players as well. So.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I still believe Newcastle will be up there in terms of the top four battle between yourselves, Spuds, Aston Villa, Man United, and you guys. Just quickly, what do you reckon the top four battle's going to be this season? Do you reckon that's accurate, or do you see other teams in there?
I didn't see who was in there.
Oh, well, just dismiss the comment. I think he was talking about.
What was the question? I'm sorry, I missed that.
It was about Newcastle.
Was that a top four battle, or who's going to finish in the top four?
Yeah. Who's going to qualify for top four or Champions League this season?
What is that? Who's going to get the fourth spot? Because I didn't see Man City, Arsenal, and Liverpool on there.
Well, Forest are going to win it. So, you lot can...
Forest going to get the third star. You get the third star yet. You can have 3 stars on your tree. But, I don't know. I don't know about your Champions League qualification for Newcastle. I think they've started the season too coldly to really recover that. I think Aston Villa will be the big question mark for finishing in Champions League again, because they're in the competition. They've got more competitions to focus on and more tests for their squad quality as well as depth to really sort of face off different kinds of challenges. For me, it's a big question for the other clubs as to whether they're going to live up to the standards that they need to in order to actually get results across the line, accumulate the points and finish in those positions. Because with previous top four races, we've seen clubs like the Arsenals, the Man Uniteds, the Tottenhams getting close to qualification, but then just seemingly not wanting to win to get over the line to actually get it done. I think Man United probably a club that are still somewhat in that rut, not getting it over the line and messing around a little bit. But as for other teams, I don't know. I mean, Brighton so far unbeaten. Is that form? How long is that form going to last, and how well will they do across the season? And Nottingham Forest as well, surprise candidate for maybe not Champions League but European qualification.
World Cup, mate. We're going to win the World Cup. We're on it.
You're playing Brazil in the finals.
But Forest will beat Brazil in the final without their Brazilian players.
Paddy says the stuff board at Spurs must just have crap mentality, and that's a big talking point. That's a big talking point, because I think like the guys like Daniel Levy, I do not know why this guy gets so many free passes with so many people in the fan base. He's been around and has overseen your club's stagnation and never actually kicking on.
He's clever. He's clever. He has somebody to push it on to. So he's very clever. And same with Stan Kroenke. They are very clever businessmen. They always have like a front man that's always going to take the shit or take whatever. Arsenal have got something going that is mental because they've got like this like cult thing for Arteta. So the manager, the actual owner don't need to take any shit or anything like that because they've got this fucking Arteta, Ted Bundy lookalike fucking type of thing going on, And I think that's exactly the same with Daniel Levy, Is Daniel Levy probably is the problem, but they don't look at that. They look at the actual manager that's the issue.
Yeah. I mean, would you agree with that, Jose, do you think Daniel Levy's the biggest issue, you'd say, with Tottenham Hotspur in the modern day?
At the end of the day, right, people are going to turn around and say that. Okay, but the fact of the matter is, there isn't enough people out there to unite, join, assemble, whatever you want to call it, in order to go against the juggernaut that is Levy and his
Are you
company.
the Avengers? Are you the Avengers?
We're pre-Avengers.
Yeah, I sometimes call upon Thanos. I sometimes call upon Thanos to come and help me out.
Get them a hammer.
Yeah, at the end of the day, yeah, it's not there's not enough traction out there for people to get together to do anything against him. And you know, like with a lot of clubs put up with what they've got. Now, if he was to do a turnaround like the guy did at Arsenal, where he ended up, and they backed Arteta. Let's not be fooled, but Arteta got backed, and so did whoever was it. It wasn't Edu that was there before Arteta; it was somebody else. But they got backed in what they wanted to do, and because Arsenal were up in arms with their board, and they've been for years.
I think Gazidis that they were really busy.
Yeah.
But they were up in arms, you know. And at the end of the day, if people were to turn around at Tottenham and you know, and he passed the reins on to footballing people, then we might see a we might see a difference. Not guaranteed, but you might see a difference. But you need to have, if you're going to house someone like that, any club, you're going to need to have everybody. And it's not just the people that fill the stadium, it's the people beyond that fill the stadium as well. So I would say, yeah, instead of looking at 60,000 people turning on him, you'd probably need 250,000 people turning on him in order for something to actually happen. So it'd be supporters that had gone in, not just the season ticket holders, but supporters that have been to one game or been to 5 games in the season. The people that buy the merchandise, you need a big traction in order to get someone or people like that out. And that's going to happen. That'll happen at every club. At every club, you've got these owners who are juggernauts of people. So, you know.
Yeah.
But the facts do speak for themselves, though.
Yeah,
absolutely. Absolutely.
Michael at Chelsea says, I was practically waiting for Man City to actually cross it or get in the box, but it never came. It was sideways passing. I strongly dislike that. Yeah, I think the game sort of started to turn for City a little bit the second Grealish came on, because he was actually creating a bit more extra width on
I think it's shown a major weakness in City, to be honest.
Yeah, a bit too stagnant, just static. All possession, but not really too much.
It just shown it, like I said earlier, it just shown the blueprint of the way that you beat City. Just keep them outside your box and make sure that you're concentrating whenever they try and get in there. You know, to me, it just shown the blueprint.
As I said, I think Pep's going to walk away from today's game, analyse what they did, and make that a better. So if you get into that situation again, then you know you create.
Yeah.
Or you play slightly. You might go wider. You know, you play slightly different. Pep's a perfectionist, and he'll watch today's game, and he'll know where he wants the players to improve.
100%. Totally. I agree with that completely.
I'll quickly catch up with the chat, because there's been quite a few chats since we went through star comments there. Moist 1 out of his last 22 Premier League games. Sheesh.
I think that's probably the worst thing, that you've actually given Pep something else to actually work on. You know? So if he works on that and he gets that sorted out, then you're really fucked.
BS and Nick Thornton, good to see you, mate. Potter, or how potentially is he starting to fall out with Newcastle's hierarchy to go to West Ham? That'd be interesting if West Ham consider Eddie Howe, if he gets a bit sort of twitchy, squeaky bum time or twitchy arse at Newcastle, if he would make that jump over to West Ham, or whether he'd wait out to get a better offer.
Be interested if Potter took over from Newcastle, went into Newcastle, to be honest. I think that could be a good thing as well.
Rashford scored 3 in his last 2 benching. Talk about knocking your confidence. I mean, if you did it to Garnacho, he scored 2 goals also, so you'd knock his confidence as well. But that's by the by. I'd rather shit in my hand, rub it over my body, get 2 goals from 2 goals, 1 cup, and suffer under Lopetegui. A bit much, a bit overzealous, but each to their own.
I like how he mentions yet his favourite video. There's 2 girls in 1 cup.
Yeah, whatever floats your boat, mate. To be honest.
Big ups to Mama Flossie as well. They're linking all the channels for everybody featured on the show tonight as well. Eltel Cockerell is there, and also to my channel, as I'm currently covering for Tony, as he's ducked for cover. He's shielded.
Yeah, I'll sub to you, Eltel. Big up, mate. I've enjoyed chatting with you and stuff like that.
And you,
there too, but Arsenal History and More, which is Jez's channel as well. He was on earlier in the show, and also, of course, a link there to Lockhead Yeti's Cave. So make sure you do subscribe to everybody featured on the panel today. Anthony's still waiting on your channel as well. Still waiting for you to kickstart your straw chewing Gooner channel. Waiting on you and your.
Bro, I'm not being funny, mate. But you so behind in the chat. The things that they said was in 2021.
2021. Listen, I know it's at the start of the hour, right? I'm sure that will probably come a point where we'll be reading comments from yesterday. It'll be Monday by the time we finish the show.
Exactly. Are we going on till Wednesday? We'll
rifle through the comments just to cover things briefly there. So a couple of games from a cup final next round will be incredible. You see Tottenham getting a cup final, or this Tottenham team winning any cups this season?
Like I said, any team. When I've been asked this question before here on this channel, I said for any team, and I said this earlier, any team to win a trophy, you've got to get the variables. You've got to get home draws. Your players have got to be fit. You've got to get the right selections. It's not as easy as to go and win a cup, but everyone goes out hopefully wanting to win a trophy, and I hope that we're no different.
Well, you got the Tiger Trophy, didn't you, in the friendly? I mean, you've got to be happy with that.
Never forget.
Yeah. You know what? I can recall Forest winning their 2 European trophies because I'm old enough to watch them win that. But I ain't got a fucking clue what we've won since then.
Big ups here to Sava from Heritage TV. Late Sunday night vibes. This is how we spend every Sunday, Sava. The Sunday night takeaway show. Just get people on and start chatting away. If you'd like to join in with some of these shows, it's on 8 o'clock every Sunday night. Just get Tony from Early Doors Football TV a shout, and I'm sure I'll be more than happy to invite you on.
Sava, that's why I called you young man, because I am old. There it is. Good evening, young man.
We can go to the bottom of the barrel and have you on, Sava, if you want to come on.
So are we winning the league? Of course you are. No. One would answer no. Don't win the league. I'm informed we're winning it. I think everybody's got someone in the fan base that is. I'm sure that maybe the top foxes that predicted Leicester to win the league were the ones that betted on winning the league in 2015. So now they're all busy living in mansions somewhere, living off the earnings from their superstitious bets. What's going on with these My Little Pony convention things? What's going on?
Big up to Sava, by the way, because I know he's been through like some shit and stuff like that. So big up to him, man.
Yes, David Shire. Yeah, the amount of absolutely ridiculous shit that Sava has to put up.
Well, he has to deal with Spurs fans that think they're actually something. So, I mean, you've got to give him respect for that.
I love the Newcastle Wiggers and Isak. I think everybody, well, most people would love Isak. I mean, I'm pretty sure everybody here would take Isak at their club as a striker quite happily. You say to tell, yeah. Quads on for Spurs, says David Shire.
Sorry, Tell. I keep calling you Cockerel. I didn't know you was Tell.
And the name's Jose.
Yeah.
He goes
by
hello, Jose Marino.
For the next 4 years, guaranteed after the Brentford win.
There's a question down there from Michael that he's asking me, right? And he says, a question about your Korean following at Spurs. Do you think that they will move on when Son leaves? No, they won't, because we've bought the new Sonny, apparently, and he's Hayak, and he plays for Gangwon FC, and he's been signed by Tottenham this season, and he comes to us in February. He's a winger, he's 18 years old, and he's another South Korean product, and supposedly the new Sonny. So no, the Korean fan base will still remain, because we have another Korean coming in, and he will then supplement the finances at Tottenham.
Oh, that's fucking brilliant.
Sarcasm rules here got a bite. Arsenal, City, Liverpool, Chelsea's Pepsi's top 4 prediction. Still backs Arsenal to win the Prem.
There we go.
Yes, David. Not being sarcastic, I've been converted by all the videos today about Andrew and his masterclass for beating bottom half teams. 4 times in a row, sheesh, what a payout. Much of the day on Shearer saying how well Forest are equipped and working well for each other. Shearer's giving you the rub.
Mate, Shearer knows what time it is, mate.
Suppose you get Alan Sugar back.
Time it is. Sarah knows exactly what time it is, and we're all about it, and we're all gonna fucking go on and fucking kick the shit out of all of you. So fucking you better recognise, mate.
To get Alan Sugar back because funny. Can you imagine he's got Alan Sugar? Bet yet Piers Morgan trying to figure things out for Spurs whilst being an Arsenal supporter. Levy is superb chairman, to be fair. We should be grateful that he is here. Without him, we would never have that day out in 2008. Not to mention the day out at Wembley against City, where Jose should have been your manager, but trusted Ryan Mason instead. Literally, that was his first ever game as a manager as well, I'm pretty sure.
Who?
Took Ryan Mason.
Yeah.
Back in a sec.
Literally, first game ever. And you're just like, you know what? Just take on Manchester City, managed by Pep Guardiola
In a cup
final in a club that's not won trophies for a long time. That's 100% going to go well.
Yeah, it goes go figure. Yeah, it works out well, don't it?
You just want to bet on Jose Mourinho, though he's out of favour at the club. Just one-off game. It's a one-off game. Jose, even if the league isn't going well, he still do well in the knockout competition. Surely a one-off game is the way to go. Son still leads the line for Spurs. Pretty much Solanke has a major risk, and the fans better hope he takes his Bournemouth form out of last season with him. I mean, he scored a goal today, did Solanke? Well, yesterday. Yeah.
I was going to say, if he scored today, he's done well. He's got 2 and 2.
Who's he scoring for? Jesus Christ. That's who it was. It was we think it was Erling Haaland that scored the goal against Arsenal, but it was actually Dominic Solanke. He basically straightened out his hair and dyed it blonde. Forest beat Liverpool the previous week, Sava, which was a pleasant surprise. It indeed was. Yet Forest have beaten a better team than Ange has for a year. They'll call him. Ange couldn't shine Jose's boots. But couldn't sign his boots either at this point. Swanky. Well, Rodney, don't worry. We beat Brentford and Everton. Absolutely. Statement wins, Sava. Statement wins. Never forget. You'll remember at the end of the season when you judge Ange in May We're all judging our managers in May. The red card killed that game as a spectacle. For an 11 versus 11, I think it would have been intriguing because Arsenal, shithousing their way to goals with moments of brilliance. What's to say with 11 men on the pitch, they couldn't have made it 3-1. Because they were getting at certain points down the pitch, and I think with a team that's meant to be that overwhelmingly favourites to win a game, you'd think, oh, Jesus Christ, what if City just don't deal with the threats going down the other end? But what can I say? A weakness in City, they have lost once in 11 months. Not to forget Rodri, who got injured. That's a shame because he's just started getting back into.
I saw that he was in the lineup. What happened to him? Because I didn't watch much of the game. So
I think with what happened with him is that he was it was a set piece corner for Arsenal, and it was a portion of the game where I think players were sort of roughing each other up a little bit, but he was sort of running alongside Thomas Partey, and I think he must have jarred his knee ligaments a bit.
Right.
And as soon as he sort of stopped running, he just dropped. And
that's
that was it.
Not a good injury then.
No, I think if it's as serious as it is, he could be out for months with some proper knee damage, which is major shame for him, but also for Manchester City because they've not lost a Premier League game since Rodri started. Yeah. So point of concern there.
So David Shear's asking what the score was between Man City. David, it was a Daigle. It was a good old Tel Cockerell Daigle. The Man City Arsenal game today.
Yeah, Desmond 2-2.
Yeah. We call it a Daigle on my predictions league because there's a chap in our community that when he does the predictions, he just says, if I'm not there, just put me down for 2-2 for every game. So we've now, instead of calling it a Desmond, we've called it a Daigle, a 2-2. So there we go.
In the last 30 games, City have only failed to score more than 2 goals 5 times. They've lost 1 game in 11 months. The disrespect to them is madness. I mean, even if
no one here has disrespected Man City at all.
No, I think it's not so much us, but rather people out there that just they throw Man City just out the window, and they're just like, oh, bum team, we did this against them. They're not mighty, they're high and mighty, but then other weeks you'll get the same fans saying, oh, we can't challenge against Pep because he's unbeatable. Well, I mean, Ten Hag, who was supposed to be sacked after the game, ended up beating Pep in a cup final. So, swings and roundabouts with that sort of viewpoint on City with some of these fans.
What Man City?
115, now 116 charges with that broken seat. Just got thrown up for all the swearing.
It probably did, mate. Not sure why I'm still here then, to be fair. But
that's the point. Time to say bye. say goodbye. Tottenham a trophy. Oh God. Jose is old.
I am.
Which one?
I am. Me, mate, referring to me, and I am. That's why I called Sava a young man, because I am definitely old. I'm definitely an old boy.
Sava does look quite old, to be fair.
You're having a laugh, aren't you? God.
He looks about 92. I've seen him on
screen. You must be watching a different one then. A different Sava. It's not the Sava I know then. Shit.
Yeah, Sava's a cool guy. I'm just messing around.
Yeah, spend my Sundays watching videos about Spurs and being called all sorts of things. Just read your comment section. That's enough to fill out like every single evening.
Yeah,
as a content creator. Question for Altel. I think we've already answered that question there.
Good night, Sava. Take care, mate. God bless you, mate.
All the best, Sava.
He's a Spurs fan, so he's mighty bound to feel old, isn't he? Really?
Yes, we are all happy clappers. Mid-table football.
100%.
Yang. Botox never did me well, Sava. Only wrinkles and my ears disappear.
The thing is, Altel has seen Tottenham win things. I mean,
and I've seen Forest win things.
20 BC, maybe that would have been a case, but I'm not sure about it after that.
as I said, the same time when I saw Forest win things as well, because I've actually seen Forest win things.
Yeah, just to say for the records, I hate this ownership. Yeah. What? Really? I didn't know. It's a bit like Nottingham Forest manager situation. I didn't realise that Cooper got sacked. Guys, don't
you keep my fucking team out your fucking mouth.
Get my wife's name out your fucking mouth. Well, he's an undercover boss, by the way. Moise is on there. He went undercover as Lopetegui. I hate that Miguel has done to the fans and our club. I don't look at a day older than yesterday. I look a day older. I mean, quite literally, I'm a day older, but still. City one off game, anything's possible. Moisey out. We got catfished. Yeah, it feels that way at the moment.
Big old Nick.
Can we talk about? I'll tell you what. Haaland didn't score any other goals because he didn't let his hair down.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, literally just change modes. You got the hair tied up mode and the hair, free flowing mode, and that's it. But
I'd agree with that.
But yeah, how many goals? Just quick, how many goals do you reckon he's scoring this season?
If he was at Tottenham,
what's he on? he honestly, he is like on a different planet at the minute. To be honest, so
and that's without being fed. He's a caged tiger, isn't he? He's not being fed.
Yeah.
It's like, look at the sort of chances he'd get at Dortmund. The way he runs onto a lot of the balls with the transition. Yeah, he shows a lot of his strength there. There's big opportunities.
Well, apparently he likes balls. Well, I've been reading, but yeah.
I heard a lot of professional footballers like their balls. Just hopefully it's the ones that they kick.
They're like airy balls, apparently, from what I've heard. In the shower.
West Ham just got sponsored by Red Bull. Drinks one at the moment, but I think they are going to try and push to be able to get sponsor.
Apparently, we've just got sponsored by Red Bull as well.
Well, I mean, Red Bull, they're in the sport, making clubs. Quite possible.
Well, it gives us wings. It gives us wings.
Yeah, get flying players.
Yeah, what can you say?
Yeah, who needs to just do like a Nani when he starts dribbling with the ball on his head? Just fly across the pitch with your wings. It's real simple.
100%.
If not Levy, then who? The answer is usually disingenuous. Anybody. Nobody is a real viable answer. Nobody likes their ownership. Even City fans bitch about their ownership. But it's like one ownership tries to actually make the team win. The other one sort of tries to do something, but it certainly isn't.
I don't understand why City fans moan about their ownership, because, I mean, they have got probably the best owners on the planet because they're doing the right thing. So I don't understand that.
Good it. Where's Tony? He okay? Tony's all good. Tony's fine. He's just away. A little getaway last minute. But
he's hiding, mate. He's hiding because they lost 3-0. Let's face it. He's hiding. He'll be here when they win again. Got to go.
No, the abuse.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I was thinking it was my stream. Sorry, mate. I was trying to read the stuff. My bad.
That's all fine. That's all good there. But yeah, big ups to Sava. Big appreciations for tuning in.
Yeah, big up Sava, bro.
Jokes, have a good one. I'm 30 in Jan, getting old. Oh, I'm 26.
You fucking old bastard. I'm only 51, you old bastard. Fucking hell, man. I'm fucking disgusted.
Surprised Eltel hasn't mentioned 1991.
No, I mentioned earlier, didn't I?
Nick the Lion mug. Oh no, don't talk about mugs. Auntie will come back on with his titty mug, his breast mug.
He's gone. He's
He's
drinking the furry cup, mate, at the moment, I think.
David, I was 29 in 08. Already had a great, already been a fan for a decade, even though it was, we didn't get much coverage here. It was more of a stylistic love for me. Man United, what are they doing? Not beating Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
Hopefully beat 20. He's gone, he's had enough. Yeah. How disingenuous is that? Can't disagree. So yeah, we'll probably wrap things up there. We've literally gone on for about 3.5 hours. Bloody hell! I've outdone Tony's work rate here.
Awesome
First time hosting the Sunday night takeaway, Martin Pan's show, and we've blown all the records out. This show's longer than the transfer deadline day one.
Yeah,
3 hours that stream went on for. But
you broke Anthony. You broke Anthony, which don't normally happen. So you can't be on one there.
God. But yeah, big ups to everybody for tuning in on in the chat for both channels, on the Early Doors Football TV channel, as well as over on LTL Cockerell's channel as well. It's been a pleasure having everybody in, and also a big shout outs to everybody joining me and supporting me running the show for this Sunday. I'm sure midweek on Wednesday it will be back to normal settings with Tony back from his hideout spot. I think he's going to have to shamefully put himself in the ugly section this week. So yeah, plenty to talk about, more predictions. So if you're in it to predict, join us on Wednesday 8:30 p.m. For
do you just say show. If you're in it with your dick?
No, with your predictions.
What's that mean?
I know you can't spell. I know you can't spell predictions without dick in it, but still. But yeah, so that was a bit
weird, mate. That was a bit weird. Sorry.
But yeah, big appreciations to everybody for joining me on the panel as well today. So, of course, we'll go around the panel and give yourselves your shout outs there. Let us know where we can find you, what your channel is, and what you have coming up. We'll start with Jose, LTL Cockerell.
Jose. Right, yeah. I can be found at LTL Cockerell. Yes, obviously I am a Tottenham supporter, but I do welcome other supporters into our chat. We've got a nice little community over there. No trouble, no drama. Tomorrow I'm doing a show at 4:00, which is the predictions show. So I run the predictions as well, and I do it all by hand and like write everything down and then just do spreadsheets for people and all that. So tomorrow will be the reveal of how people got on this weekend. Other than that, I normally work for a living, so I'm not around Tuesday and Wednesday. So the next time I'll be on after that will probably be on Thursday and Friday. But yeah, just a chill channel. If people want to come and hang out, then yeah, by all means, come and pop over to LTL Cockerell.
Lovely stuff.
And it's been great. It's been great being with you guys as well. By the way, today again.
Likewise, man.
Done well on the hosting. Yeah, it's been lovely meeting you as well. Top man.
Yeah, and you, man.
Thank you for that one. Yeti, where can we find you, and what can we expect to find on your channel in the coming days?
Well, first of all, big up to Fuzz doing this channel today, because Tony's a bitch and he wants to hide away because he don't win games. You've got to expect that. So big up to Fuzz, big up Cockerell as well, big up Anthony. And my channel is Long-Eared Yeti, and basically Long-Eared Yeti's Cave. I'm a Forest fan. I'm the only one on this platform. I'm not the only one on this platform, man. I am the only one that speaks it real and always will. And yeah, just drop in there. And if you're real, you'll stay. If you're not, you won't. Simple as. And yeah, big up. Thank you for having me on, as always. And big up to everybody. Big love.
Good stuff. And Anthony, is he back or is he still away? I think he's still away.
I think he's still having a wank.
I mean, he's unmuted himself, so I think he's around. Anthony, are you there?
But you can find me Yeah, on Wednesday nights, the Good, the Bad, the Ugly show. On obviously this show as well, the Sunday night takeaway.
You
and
can
obviously
find
the
him in the
Fun
car
Nights Doctor
dogging in the fucking park.
Yeah, that's a secret. Right.
Yeah,
I didn't say
you
which
got- I think you got-
park. I didn't say which park.
Yeah,
I think you got Tony out of a job now, Fuzzy. I think you've given him a P45 now, haven't you?
I'll have to send in the details of that and get him to sign it before sending the contract back my way. Maybe he'll pay me finally because he seems to pay everybody else. But yeah, big ups as well to Tony, Early Doors Football TV. This
He
channel,
fucking pay you,
no, he doesn't. He doesn't pay
fucking motherfucker.
He pays me.
Yeah, but I bet he fucking pays you while you fucking drop down and fucking blow the dick. Anyway.
Pays you in custard creams, mate. To whore out on YouTube, as you put it. But yeah, nonetheless, Early Doors Football TV. This channel on the road to 500 subscribers. I believe it's 37 subscribers away from 500.
Make sure you sub to these guys.
Get a channel across the line there.
Make sure you sub to these guys. I mean, sub to these guys.
And also, if you'd like to subscribe to my channel as well, it's Hot Fuzz 44 OG. As Manchester United supporter, I will be featuring midweek on the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, as well as, of course, the game going on midweek 20. So there'll be the match preview for that one, as well as then the match prediction, which I'll probably match reaction, which will have to come the day after. On the Thursday, as it's a Wednesday night, that the game is going on, plus also the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is happening at the same time. So yes, a big once again thank you to everybody for tuning in, and we will catch you guys again in the next one. There it is. That's the one I'm looking for.
Got Final Whistle tomorrow, my new show, which is like, if you guys want to jump on it, you know, Jose and Buzz and Anthony, you know, possibly Jez. You know, if you want to jump on there tomorrow night as well.
Yeah, okay.
I'll play football on a Monday night.
Oh, fuck you then.
And a Wednesday night and a Friday night.
Thank you very much once again, guys. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday nights, and yes.
Thank you, everyone.
Take care.
Take care. Bye.
You know what, Anthony? Just for that. Just for that.
Oh yeah.